Lobsta Productions.
The sins of our leaders were going to be exposed. And of course, what brings to mind immediately is Epstein and the doodly-doo, you know, all that good stuff. And I do pass by some, like, warlords. Dudes are, like, saturated in blood, and they're insane. But they kind of vibe with me, and I'm like, damn, you guys been busy, huh? Maybe I just stopped smoking weed, and then now I'm crazy. It doesn't feel like I caught up this late in the game just to bail out. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it feels like. It's like I spent my entire life sifting through conspiracy theories while also having this feeling of like I'm going to be around for the end times.
That's what keeps America sane. The fact that like the people, the elites, the global elites, they're like counting on you going to work, coming home, taking care of your family. But I'm going to be a real problem to some people because I'm not going to be doing warlord. I'm going to be doing like things that you're not supposed to do.
I am happily spreading the word until the moment you lob my head off. So in that way, I'm going to be a huge problem for you. And then this voice that's impersonating me gets angrier and angrier and deeper and more demonic until it's like screaming, open the door.
We are being hypnotized by people like this. Newsreaders, politicians, teachers, lecturers. We are in a country and in a world that is being run by unbelievably sick people. The chasm between what we're told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely enormous.
Oh yeah, dude. There's some Netflix.
It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave. These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us modern day slaves. And everybody's just walking around, head in the clouds and wanna wake up to a dead in the grave. But then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end of days.
Everybody is slaves, only some are aware that the government releasing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of NDS Chronicles, the show where two retards read your submitted paranormal testimony.
Two retards read your... But here we go.
And
we
expose ourselves constantly as being not so good at reading. That's something that I've really learned. But before we get into that, a little announcement for the live audience who is watching. This is only a 30-minute preview. And sometime around the 30-minute mark, give or take like 15, 20, 30 minutes, we're going to go live exclusively to patreon.com//Nephilim Death Squad, where you can continue enjoying this conversation, engaging with the live chat, having an ad-free viewing experience, and also seeing the episode before the general public, long before the general public. You could do that all for free if you sign up for the 7-day free trial over on patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. It's a good place to be, and we find that people are very happy with the system that we have. Not the poor people. They're very upset that they only get previews and that they get ads and things like that. But let me tell you something. The people over on Patreon are pumped because the boys are prolific.
Let me tell you,
patreon.com/.
They were upset. Every time you call them poor, they get really mad about it. And I've been meaning to tell you to maybe stop, but now I think I don't really care.
Well, a lot of them are, they find it endearing. I get messages like, I like your show, I like your content, but one of my favorite things is when you call us poor, disgusting slobs. I really enjoy that. And I go like, yeah, that makes sense. I could see how that would be endearing. So I don't know. I mean, people get upset, but then they come over to Patreon and they've got a ton of episodes. And somebody said to us the other day, they go, I used to listen to other podcasts, but Nephilim Death Squad creates so much content that they are the only podcast that I listen to now. And that was kind of the plan, is like, what if we just inundate them with so much content that they simply can't break away and go view anybody else? So a lot of people don't know what else is happening in the podcast world. A lot of people don't watch their old favorite shows because we create a lot of content.
It's an effective method, which now I am doubting if we should have done. Like okay, here's a little inside baseball for David's mentality. It's exactly that, which seems to work. And then he's like, let's do an event. And I say, okay, let's do an event. Then he goes, let's do 5. And I go, probably not. Then he goes, let's travel and do it on the road like a circus. And I go, go f yourself. We're not doing that. But honestly, there might be something to it. Like nobody else will, there's no other events going on if we're just continually doing an event, right?
Well, that's the idea, yeah, is that we just saturate the market with subpar quality content. But this is the Timcast model. And I would say that at least we have something going for us that Timcast doesn't, which is we're entertaining. Timcast isn't entertaining, but just by virtue of being there all the time, whenever you're looking for a podcast to listen to, he ends up getting a lot of viewership. So you might have some favorite shows, but they only post like twice a week. And in the meantime, when you're working at Amazon, when you're driving truck, when you're welding, when you're doing any of these things and you want something to release you from the mundanity of everyday life, you have Timcast.
I don't know if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word. We got to look that one up.
How 6 minutes into it, I made up a word. We're back, baby. We're back.
Mundanity. It is
mundanity,
a word.
Look it up. It's got to be a word.
Yeah, lacking interest or excitement, i.e. Tim Pool, it says. That's crazy.
There you go.
How dare you? This is Microsoft Bing. That's very disrespectful.
Microsoft Bing. Well, we stole that model from Timcast, but we just do it a little bit better. So that's kind of
a little less face, a little less.
Yeah. Can we pull back the curtain a little bit and tell the people how unbelievably stressed we are? We're very stressed out.
It's fine.
Top is incredibly stressed out. I'm very stressed out. We have Bohemian Grove coming up on the horizon. Brogrove.com. Go and get your tickets now. And it turns out. Ooh, there we go. The horns. It turns out that orchestrating a live event is very stressful, and especially when each time we do it a little bit bigger than the time before. This one obviously being the biggest. This one looks great, sounds great on paper. Everything is really cool, but to pull the strings and try to get this done, which is predominantly what Top is doing because I don't have the skill set that he has. So all the art creating. You also decided to revamp all the designs on your website.
That was like unwise.
We're making a lot of bad decisions, dude.
Yeah. Not great. Not great
decisions. I just moved. So I was in the middle of a move. I just got my studio set up this morning. So what you see is actually in disarray. Everything around me is in disarray. I had to throw this up at the last second to get this episode on and popping because there's been a lull in content. So there's so many things that we have to do. We just keep adding more to the table. And we keep looking at this event and we go, what if it was bigger? What if it was more complicated? What if it was even crazier? All while recruiting no help, by the way. Yeah, Raven got a new nest. No.
Very, very nice new nest. Less in the nest.
It's lot. It's very adorable, actually. I love this place here, so I'm very happy in that way. I don't know if you want to get straight into the content, or do you want to talk about? I had some dreams. I had an experience, and I think that whenever I have experiences like that, I think I'm supposed to share them.
That's right. You did have an experience. This is how we started the morning. David goes. He goes. Had a dream. My son had a dream. Something about an angel. Yeah. And I go, David, have you sent the emails, David? Have you spoken to the sponsors? Have you set up the streams? And David goes, I had a dream. And I'm like, I'm going to murder this guy because I'm up to my eyeballs in like,
well, you know what you did last night? I get a message. He's like, can you set up the stream? It's 12:30 at night. And then I wake up at like 7:30 and then 20 minutes later, he goes, did you set up the stream? I'm like, no, I had a dream. I got to tell you about the dream. He actually didn't want to listen to the dream at all.
I had a dream.
So, all right, look, check this out. This is how it goes. Yesterday, I am sitting on the porch at night and I'm listening to Tony Merkel. And it was a recent episode, a members episode, a really excellent one. And I'm having a cigar and a little bit of red wine, and I'm just enjoying the time alone. I haven't had time to decompress since I've done all this, right? So I'm sitting there, it's late, and I'm listening to this guy. He's got on a guy who he was recruited by one of the princes of hell. So you know how we're always talking about this recruitment process that seems to be happening. Martin Luther Raven Jr., thank you very much. Toads Chode. Whoa, where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
What's that? Is that my neighbors?
Is there echo in here? What is going on?
My neighbors are very cool. So I'm listening to this guy, and he was recruited by one of the princes of hell as a child in one of these throne room situations that we talk quite a bit about, and it comes up a lot on Merkel's show. Now, this guy eventually, after living a life of debauchery and engaging in dark magic and all these different things, he comes to Christ, right? And he realizes that there is redemption for him, and he starts to be on fire for the Lord and dedicates the rest of his life to Jesus.
Do you know what I realized about these guys? Every time they come up, they have like a weird sounding voice. There was another ex-Satanist. They're like, oh, he's very kind of froggy almost. It's like the devil like takes their throat or something. But that's kind of, just throat Yeah.
Well, I've known guys that are alcoholics, and they get a weird voice when they get really deep into alcoholism, where they start to talk like this, like it's really gross. And so it's like remnants of that. In fact, I have a friend that, or an old friend of mine, he was sober, it was one voice, and when he was drunk, it was that old man's raspy alcoholic voice, and then it would pass away, when he wasn't drunk anymore. So yeah, this guy sounds like that. And he starts talking about things that the Holy Spirit had revealed to him. One of the things, interestingly enough, is he knew that it was going to be a thing, and he knew that the was going to be the real danger, right? So that resonated with me because I didn't have the Holy Spirit tell me that. I had Jesse Ventura tell me that, which, there's a huge difference there, but same message. So all those years ago, Jesse Ventura tells me this,
new
and I've got this in my mind.
Jesse Ventura dresses the Holy Spirit. Okay,
there you go.
That's probably blasphemous, right? Ask Emily.
It is, I think so. I don't think
Emily, ask your Catholic church. Maybe they know.
Yeah, they'll tell us don't do that.
Should be like, just be Catholic. It's of course.
That's right. That's a simple. Just go to mass, right? So that piques my interest. I go, okay, cool. I resonate with the guy who was ahead of the curve on that. And then he says that the Holy Spirit also revealed to him that there was going to come a time where the sins of our leaders were going to be exposed. And of course, what brings to mind immediately is Epstein and the doodly-doo, all that good stuff. And he says shortly after that, he doesn't have a time frame. He says it could be months, it could be like 3 years, but relatively speaking, shortly after that is revealed to us the sins of our leaders was going to pop off, and the rapture was going to happen. And I know a lot of people are like, no, rapture's not biblical. I don't know. I'm just learning things, and I'm just telling you what I hear and what I know. Or not know, but what I hear.
Oh, hey, by the way, I'm reminding you guys. Hi, Emily. Yeah, shout out Emily in the chat.
Hey, Emily.
Hotels, I got more hotel rooms. So I got a couple of rooms booked out for you guys. You bought them. They're available again at the link. Check the email, whatever.
There you go.
See, we also have 4 tickets to give away.
Oh my God. No, we have 5 tickets, don't we?
Well, I mean, we might give Clint one.
Oh, okay. So we have 4 tickets at the minimum. So
4.
Keep an eye out for that. I think we're probably going to end up doing that this week. We have 4 tickets.
Yeah. And a great new sponsor.
Name?
Let's just we'll drop the sponsor name. Where is he at? Here we go. Irwin.
Chuck Irwin.
Yeah. Chuck Irwin from Irwin Outdoors. He's an outdoor company. They do all kinds of like paving. I think they do land work, yard work. All the information will be in the description, all that stuff. But when we do the episode with him, for him, you'll be able to check him out a little bit more. As a matter of fact, we got his website. We'll pull it up real quick so we could just show people really quickly.
Yeah, this guy crushes.
Yeah, this guy's great. So
beautiful landscaping.
Yeah, and the pavement.
Does he do the pavement? He did the paver work. Beautiful paver work.
Yeah,
beautiful
great better website than my website.
This guy crushes. He's out here. He's local to Florida. If you're local to Florida and you're looking for a landscaping company and you're looking for somebody who gets it, this guy gets it. This is a great.
This guy. So he's in Lakeland, not too far from us. But yeah, he gets it. Do you want to hear about conspiracy? Do you want your bricks laid by somebody who knows what the is going on in the world?
Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. If there's anybody that I'm going to, because I had the guy from Xfinity in my house to try to fix, whatever was going on with my cable box, and he was Dominican, and that was like strike 1. And then strike 2 was he just talked about like his ex-baby mama I want a dude that's going to come in here, white preferably, and talk to me about whether or not the rapture is biblical. And
I think
that's
he's white.
Really what I want.
He's a veteran, and his looks like it crushes. Look at this. Outdoor living creations. That's cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I have a real affinity for when you nail landscaping and it's beautiful. I am at that age where I walk with my family and I go, look at that grass. That is good grass right there.
Yep.
And my complex, by the way, is filled with good grass and it's lovely. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a based landscaping company, that is it. What's the name of his company one more time?
Irwin Outdoors. But we're gonna be coming back to him we're gonna do a Q&A episode, right? Where we'll give this away or something like that.
Yeah, we're going to do a Q&A episode.
There you go. Shout out.
Hey, it's Chuck. There he is, baby, with the hearts and yo, your work is beautiful, dog. Great
Chuck,
website.
Get back to work. What the
back to work?
It's
I know
the
right
middle
now.
of the day. This looks bad.
Dog.
This looks really bad for you, dude. It's like
this does.
They were like, this guy is a great worker, and he's listening to not just listening, commenting.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I walked outside today, and the weather's beautiful, and I said, Chuck better be working hard because we had rain the other day, and it's you don't do landscaping in the rain, and so I expected Chuck to be working hard. Here he is, enjoying our show. Love you, Chuck. Thank you very much, brother. And we're gonna do a Q&A soon, and we're gonna give those tickets away. I don't know what the what would you call it, like the not the prerequisite, but the qualifier for giving these tickets away is we haven't decided. We might just give it to our favorite people, although that seems messed up. But we're going to do something soon. It's going to be Q&A, and we're going to give some tickets away this week, so keep an eye out for that. So like I was saying, I'm listening to this guy. He's talking about the rapture is coming after the sins of our leaders are exposed. And like I said, it brings to mind like Epstein, magnitude things. And crimes against children and all these horrifying things. He says shortly after that, the rapture is going to pop off. And so as he's talking about this, and, say what you will, whether the rapture is biblical or not, I don't know. I'm still learning a lot. But, this guy is fascinating in the things that he's saying. And I have this thought that is plaguing me. And plaguing sounds negative, but ever since I was a kid, I've had apocalyptic dreams. And we've talked about alien abductee victims who are plagued with apocalyptic dreams and whether or not that is accurate or it's a deception that's planted in their minds or something like that. I think there's a chance that happened to me. Whatever. This is something I've been obsessed with since childhood. In fact, it informs all of the conspiracy stuff that I latch onto and then really puts me in this chair doing this thing right here today. So as I'm listening to him talk about this, I'm over and over again thinking about all my apocalyptic or tribulation dreams. And I've always been struck with this notion that I was meant to go through it. And so when he's talking about the rapture, I'm thinking about over and over again, very strange thought, that I would opt to stay. Now, there's no biblical precedent for that. Like opting to stay is not a thing that comes up in biblical text as far as I've, seen and, limited in my knowledge, albeit, but I've not heard that concept.
I'm sorry, David. I'm trying to pay attention because he's a very serious story, but these guys are just in the chat. Are you reading it? I know you're telling your story.
No, I can't because my camera is right over the chat. I can't. Should we put the chat on the screen? Is that cool?
Oh, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, go ahead.
I think they'd like that. Do
Chuck
you guys
says
like
his,
if the chat's on screen?
Chuck got his bitch nigga shirt and his kids love it. And then somebody else said, use promo code NDS to pay 10% more.
Yeah, that's order. For who gets to pay 10% more? Will Chamberlain?
That's Will Chamberlain, the gays. Only the gays.
So, okay, so I'm thinking about this over and over again, how I would opt to stay. And it's a weird thought to have. Just to think about that. It's a weird thing for an adult man. Still I do this kind of content and like that, but it's just a weird thought. And it's not just a thought. I'm almost not paying attention to what he's saying anymore because I'm thinking about this so much. And all of a sudden, I look up and a star streaks across the sky. And I'm immediately struck with this feeling that I was meant to see that. And then not even 5 seconds later, it was under 10 seconds, I know that, this guy says, now I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm just telling you what the Holy Spirit told me, and you guys could take this as a grain of salt, what the hell ever. But he says, some of us are going to opt to stay. So the rapture is going to happen, and many Christians will go. Other Christians will not go, and they'll be like, holy crap, what happened? But of that, some people will have opted to stay. And the reason they opted to stay is because there's going to be part of the flock who is basically reeling. Now they are solidified in the idea of Jesus Christ and all of this, but it was too little too late. So the true believers got taken, and these other people are now believers, but they're kind of here for the ride. And then there are some of us who choose to stay. Now, that is a really unbelievable coincidence. And I am struck with overwhelming emotion to the point where tears start streaming down my face uncontrollably, very strange and hyper emotional. And my cigar goes out and I can't smoke it anymore because for some reason my torch lighter also died. It was very frustrating. And the episode ends and I'm just left there with these thoughts. I get up.
I think I know why it died. My bad.
You were dicking around with it? No. No, that's not true. You weren't here. You didn't touch that thing. I don't know why the hell
you had it
died.
at my house. You had it at my house the other day.
Did I? And you were screwing around with it because there's still butane coming out of it, and I can see the spark, but it won't light. Those torch lighters always go to. And some people are like, "Oh, he's smoking weed." I wasn't smoking weed. I'm genuinely smoking cigars. I don't smoke weed because it's very bad for me. And so I'm enjoying my cigar. I stopped enjoying my cigar after that. And I go inside, I tell my wife, and my wife basically hits me with this, I've always known this. And which is insane. It's an insane thing. The whole conversation that I had, when I told you through messages on DMs, I said, I would never say this. This is not something that I would say unless I really believed it. And I was in a really emotional state. So, you know, you and I talked about it. Me and my wife talked about it. She believes it. She says she's always felt that in her heart. And, you know, she said something interesting. It's like, I have all these tribulation dreams my entire life, but I'm never with my son and my wife. And my wife actually brought up to me like a week ago. She goes, it's a little bit concerning that I'm never in these dreams. It almost seems like maybe we die. And I go, I don't think that's what happened, but I don't have anything to back that up with. So, okay, that happens. A very emotional night. And when I say it, it doesn't sound that impactful. It's one of those things like you had to be there. You had to feel what I felt. It was crazy. It felt divine. And so I go to sleep and I have a dream where I'm in like a post-apocalyptic landscape. It's like a town that's pretty much been reduced to rubble, but people are kind of like functioning. They're moving around.
Your old apartment? Is that where you're?
No. Well, it was very brown. And I mean that as far as like the landscape was very brown and tan, but like, I don't know where the people were. They could have been also brown and tan. Maybe actually the landscape was a symbolic representation of the people. So I am navigating this landscape. I have some people with me, and there's an entity like hovering above this town that's reduced to rubble. And I know it's cycling through different forms. And it almost felt as if there was this energy of like warning, that this thing is warning. But I am highly skeptical of it. I'm like, this is, I don't trust it, to the point where I start trying to throw rocks at it. And I do think that the rocks were passing through it. And that was frustrating. And so it goes away at one point, but not before taking a final form. And the final form was an angel, like a, you know, there's like a Digimon that's an angel. Like it's a Digimon. He's got like long hair, white body, white wings, and like his eyes are covered. Yeah, that image kind of like
Digimon
popped up in
is
the dream.
it's a great
Digimon
show.
Crushed, actually. It was better than Pokemon.
Digital monsters.
Digimon are the champions.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Wow, I didn't realize. You don't realize how accurate this guy is until you know a thing or two, right?
Yeah. I looked at it kind of recently, which might be why it entered my dream. There he goes. Yeah.
Multiple wings. Look at are those eyes on his chest? But there was a woman too. There's a girl type.
Whoa. Yeah. There's a girl type?
Yeah, there's all different
She was
types.
in the dream. Okay. Oh, Rat T says Anjamon.
There you go.
Nigga. I like, that's so interesting. Okay, all right. So let's continue. I then, after this thing disappears, me and these kind of homies we end up like in a building. It's dark. There's not really any lights. There's like a fire that's lighting. And I do pass by some like warlords. Dudes are like saturated in blood and they're insane. But they kind of vibe with me. And I'm like, damn, you guys been busy, huh? They're like, yeah, we've been busy. I'm like, all right, I'll catch you later. And I walk. So they were kind of cool with me. And when I'm in this shelter, there's either text, but I kind of remember it as posters on the wall or something, where all of a sudden I was shown that thing's name, that angel's name. And the name, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, oh, was that a real angel? And there was a pair to it, and it was a female one. I didn't focus on her so much because women, but there was a pair. I knew that was something that like I was basically shown their lore, and it was like there's this one and there's that one, and you saw this one, the male one, and then it reappeared in the sky, and it was basically doing the same where it was giving warnings, and I was like, all right, I got to go to this thing now and have some words with it, and that was the end of the dream. Now, I wake up in the morning. I tell my wife about the strangeness of the dream. My son overhears it, and he goes, did you say you were on a floating island in the sky above a city that was, like, destroyed? And I said, no. And he goes, oh, well, I did. Last night I had a dream that I was on an island floating in the sky looking down over a city that was destroyed. And I went, okay. And then that was it. And then we went for a walk. I don't know. I just wanted to share that because I've been having a lot of dreams lately. For the first time, I had the dream about the dog that I had to put down, and then I had a dream that I was spreading the good word that you could cast out demons in the name of Jesus. And I woke up so many times during that night, and each time I went to sleep, I was just telling somebody else about the good word that you could cast out demons in the name of Jesus. And before that, I didn't have any memorable dreams for what felt like years or a year or something like that. And then all of a sudden, in the past 6 days, because I found the post, probably 7 days then, because it was the night or whatever. In 7 days, I've had like really crazy dreams, and I don't know what the is going on.
That's weird. I don't dream at all. I don't sleep. So we're on the opposite side of the spectrum, David. It's very weird. I think maybe you're having the dreams that I'm supposed to have.
No, I used to be, but I got rid of Spectrum. I'm on Xfinity now, actually. And the download upload speeds are incredible. Like really, really fantastic.
What the fuck are you Maybe it's a different Wi-Fi.
Oh my God! Look, Ari Peter says, "Bro, did you quit smoking weed or something?" Yes, I did.
Huh.
Yes,
How
I
long
did.
ago?
Right before I went on vacation. I was like I have an addictive personality. I was smoking too much weed. It was zapping me of all of my like work ethic and also all kinds of like just my ability to function like a normal human being. And I said, I know I can't bring weed on this cruise. I'm going to use the cruise as like a crutch to stop. And then when I come back, I'm not smoking anymore. So I had a little bit left. I flushed it in the toilet and I haven't turned back since. And I simply cannot, because over and over again in my life, I take long breaks. Weed comes back into my life. I abuse it. And then it just f***ed up my entire psyche. And so I broke myself off of that. And then, now I'm inundated with dreams.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know what any of it means.
I don't know what any of it means either, but that Digimon thing is actually very interesting. I can see like the image of it in the middle. It's got 6 wings, right? And it was like, what was it? The Seraphim had 6 wings or something.
Why was it there?
It felt like it was warning, but I didn't trust it. So I don't know, like my interpretation of it almost feels like I have a tendency anytime some sort of entity thing happens in anybody's stories or in anything period, I'm like, that I don't trust it. And this almost felt like it was telling me, I don't know, it could go either way. Maybe the stones passing through it were telling me that it wasn't real. Or maybe it was telling me, because the revelation of its name, I remember associating that with like, oh, is this thing actually like solid? Is this a real ass type of thing? And if that was the case, it almost felt like I was being told like, you have a tendency to throw all of the baby out with the bathwater, and there are good angels still. In fact, 2/3 of them are still good. They're still in alignment with God. They do intervene. They do, appear to people. Maybe it was who knows? Or maybe it didn't mean anything. Maybe I just stopped smoking weed and then now I'm crazy.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I found it interesting when you told me. You were like, I'm crying because this guy.
Why did you say it like that, dude? You read the text. I didn't have a shaky voice. I messaged you.
Crying. I called him. He said, I can't pick up right now.
I couldn't pick up the phone. If I tried to explain it to you, then I would have sounded like that. Yeah.
It was just so weird because I was like, when you told it to me, I was just like, yeah. It just felt, that's what I always felt like as well. And that I said that I don't want to stay, but I just always have this inclination that I'm going to. And
I've always had that. But we've talked about it before, right? Like Fringe is given these dreams, and I don't know if she's given them from the things that are abducting her or whatever, but like people get this, the tidal wave dream, the apocalypse dream, and then certainly the your special dream. And I don't feel like it's a your special thing. I think it's more of if there's any specialness at all, it's that I get to help people. Like let's say like the whole thing plays out that way, and people get raptured, and there's some that are left behind, and they are like, okay, Jesus is real, and he is the way, the truth, and the life. And then like if I get to stay behind, I get to just help, our brothers and sisters. That sounds good, doesn't it? Our brothers and sisters. But so it's not like a I am special thing as much as it's like a I get to help people thing, and help them develop their relationship with Jesus and like that. So, I don't know. It almost feels like when I was homeless as a kid, I got real used to living without electricity and living in the elements and shit like that. And so I don't know, maybe there's a nostalgia factor. If everything happens that way, I go, oh, well, it's a little comfy and cozy, or at least more comfy and cozy for me than the average person.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So Merkel during that show was like, "Oh, we're gonna get to like stay back," and I was like, "I'm gonna fight these." It's like, you don't want to fight, and it's not that you don't want to, but you're not going to. It's a weird thing. I feel like whatever we're building, if the world is about to end, like Milo actually tweeted this morning, he was like, "If you're reading this tweet, then you'll be alive for the end of the world." It's like very interesting, very interesting. Because I'm like, yeah. It feels weird like that.
Well, that was the notion that I took away from it. Was I said to you, I feel as though God would not have shown me this if time wasn't short.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
I don't know. You know, very, very dumb. I'm very dumb. I don't know a lot of things. So I talked to the Dangerous Retards chat, which is, you know, all the homies who watch the show and support us and everything. And it, you know, it became a theological debate about the veracity of the rapture and whether or not it applies, whether or not it's an accurate interpretation of scripture. And, you know, these guys are great. Everybody in that chat does so great at their research on theology and everything. And so they're having a conversation with one another that's above my pay grade. And I'm going, guys, you know me, all I'm telling you is what I experienced and what I felt. You know, and that's really all I can operate off of. And it just made so much sense. Like the way you said, yeah, that tracks, is the same way my wife said, yeah, that tracks. And it's the same exact thing that I felt. It was like huge confirmation of things that I knew as a child without ever having information to back it.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
It's something that my mom is always talking about. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to be flying up with Jesus." And I was like, and I don't know about, I guess maybe you, but like, I don't see that. That's not going to be me. We even told Ed. I told Ed, I was like, yeah, not the first one. If there's three.
If there is three, yeah, maybe the second one or the third one I'll catch, but.
Yeah, but now I'm like, definitely not the first one. Maybe either because I'm, or probably because I just choose not to, or I don't even know if I choose to. Like if I was asked, I would say, no, I don't want to stay here. But part of me is like, you just got to stay here to do something.
Well, you know what it is? For me, it doesn't feel like I caught up this late in the game just to bail out. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it feels like. It's like I spent my entire life sifting through conspiracy theories while also having this feeling of like, I'm going to be around for the end times, yada, yada, yada. And then to have learned everything for what? For me to just like effectively bail. I'm not saying it's bailing, but you know what I mean? Like it feels like I'm meant to put all of this to use. And on this show, we do that. You know, we put all that to use, and we try to bring people closer to God in our own super fucked up way. But it doesn't feel like it's the end all be all. It feels like I spent all that time learning and having these conversations and going through all this to help people. And I just started. And if the time is short, then it almost feels like too short of a season for me to help people.
Yeah. Well, Emily's a misunderstanding. In these premonitions that he's talking about, and even like the feeling that I get, it's like, yeah, there's no kids here. There's no wife. It's just, you're just like, you're freed up to do whatever you got to do. Makes things a lot simpler, a lot easier.
It's also very relieving because it's like, if you're like me and you have all these dreams and you believe that this is going to come to pass within your lifetime, then you're constantly like, what about my wife? What about my son? I don't think about me in that context because I also have felt my entire life like I'm going to go through this, and that's the point of me. That's my purpose, is I'm going to go through this. So I don't worry about like, oh, you know, my fleshy body and all the things that'll happen to it. Like, no, it's so much after this that, you know, you're mission driven while you're here, but loved ones get in the way of that mission because you have to protect them. Whereas if they're out of the picture, if they're raptured, that's the most beautiful thing I could ever hope for, honestly.
Yeah, that's what keeps America sane. The fact that like, the people, the elites, the global elites, they're like counting on you going to work coming home, taking care of your family. There's so many people that just like, listen, I got to do this. We have to keep a status quo,
Yeah.
for our kids. If that's off the table,
Yeah.
you're going to have like warlords is going to be one problem, but that's like low IQ, and you might get, taken out by one, but I'm going to be a real problem to some people because I'm not going to be doing warlord shit. I'm going to be doing like things that you're not supposed to do, but I'm like, well, where are the rules? Where are the lines? Let's start blurring them up and doing what needs to get done now.
If the problem for them is us proclaiming the name of Christ, if my wife and my kid are raptured and I have this, I know what awaits on the other side, I am happily spreading the word until the moment you lob my head off. So in that way, I'm going to be a huge problem for you because I'm not going to shut the f up. I'm not worried about you killing me. Like, I know where this goes and I know what I'm supposed to do here. So if your problem is spreading the word of Christ, then yeah, I'm going to be a huge problem because until you make it so that I can't make noise anymore, I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah. All right. Listen, let's read a story. They're getting upset that the pores are here, but
I'm so sorry. We got to kick the pores out.
Oh, not yet. Let them hear
about my dreams.
Should we let them hear one story? I guess they heard
we'll
one
let them
story.
hear one story. It's been a while. We've been so busy. We've not been able to make content, and so yeah, let's give them one. Well, I know what we have lined up. It's not really a story. You want to?
Hey, you know what I'll do for you guys? Because I forgot. I'm gonna release an episode for the pores right now on audio. So we'll kick them out. There you go. Go ahead. Enjoy the entire episode of Brad Binkley. Goodbye. Oh, wait, before we go, if you guys are VIP members, VIP package people, there's our keychains are in. So that's like VIP stuff. We'll have a couple to sell probably. We got the pins. We have the Bohemian Grove pins. Very, very nice.
Can you get that closer to the screen? That was bad. That was dumb.
It's going to get blurry. I know. It's hard to see.
Look at that. Isn't it great? You can't see it at all. It's
you can't see it at all. But trust me, it looks nice. Oh, look at that. There you go. Yeah. Put that in your ass. That's fine. We have the VIP package. I think it's going to come with cups. If you guys have not replied back to me via email for your t-shirt size, maybe I'll
just get an XL.
I may be a large, or an XL. I'm just going to give you a shirt. We have artwork for the VIP people. We've got bags, all that stuff. Some of that might be for sale, but some of it's going to be exclusive. So,
also, I would like to make a quick announcement. It's a light one, but we've been having meetings about the future of Top Lobsta Productions, and we are looking for an unexciting role to fill. And if this sounds like you, consider DMing us. But what we're looking for is somebody with excellent internet who doesn't mind doing the drudgery of creating a transcribe of an episode, going to AI, asking AI to produce keywords and phrases so that we can do SEO, search engine optimization. We need somebody who can upload and plug in all the drudgery. And, it is not a glamorous occupation, but if it's something that you feel that you can do, maybe consider DMing us.
Yeah, be a part of it. Grab your tickets. Bohemian Grove, you know where we're at.
Emily says to do all of it. Yes, that is.
Yes. We put too much on our plate.
Oh,
all right.
My God. All right,
Goodbye,
guys.
everybody.
Goodbye, pores.
We'll see the pores later. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay.
All right. So let's get into this. This is January, February, March, April. This was from April 4th. Good golly. 2 months ago. 2 months ago, almost to the day. This is from, I guess should I dox him? Victoria. We'll say Victoria. There's a quick one, but she says, NDS, great show. I agree.
The best. Some would
Fantastic episode, and the chemistry you two have is refreshing. Raw, honest, and genuine. That's nice. Can we imagine how that would be to put on a shirt. Raw, honest, and genuine.
Like
Holy
a Yelp
crap.
review. Raw, honest, genuine.
Is Nancy here? I don't know if she's
yeah, she's there. I see her, and she's creeping.
Right,
I see you, Nancy. Hi.
Yeah. Her workload's been super light lately, and so we're docking her pay for that. I have listened to the Telepathy tapes episode twice. Once live, then again after Blurry Creatures. I tracked with
whose was better? Yeah,
ours was obviously better. I think they missed a lot. And I'm not even throwing shade at the Blurry Creatures boys. It's just, there she goes. She's here. Yeah, Nancy is here.
They did miss a lot. Even the guy, you know what? I have some sympathy on the dude that they interviewed. about it because he's like super close to it. And like, I guess he has a relationship with that lady Kai Dick, and so it's hard for him. He's just like, I can't understand why she would just go ahead and remove everything I said about Jesus. Like every single word that mentioned Jesus or Christ or Christian or God is like.
Any idea?
No, not a little bit.
One idea?
You didn't feel the Pride Month in the air?
I mean, I could think of a few reasons. Big anti-God. All right.
I was actually looking at a video today of, where they take the colors, then they'll mix like a metallic, they'll mix a blue and a gold, and they'll be like, this is now metallic blue. And it's like, I love watching them mix this paint. And they took the colors of the rainbow and they mixed it all together, and it just said poop. It turned brown. Yeah. It's great. Then they took the trans flag and they mixed it all together, and it turned into gray, and they just wrote tombstone. I was like, crazy.
There you go.
It's right on the nose.
There's a certain time of day or night, maybe, where the algorithm on Twitter just turns into like color mixing paints and how it's made for me. And it traps me. Like I'll scroll one video and I'll be enamored with like how they're making, whatever this is, crepes. And I'll go, oh, that's how they make crepes. And then I'll try to scroll and it'll be like, oh, they're dumping this color in a bucket. Oh, they're dumping that color in a bucket. And then they put a giant blender in, and I go, oh, that's nice. I didn't know.
You ever seen the one with the roach where he goes and then they trap him in the wire and then beats him with the and then he runs back? Love it.
I like that one. I like that. I don't know what that algorithm is, but it definitely keeps me.
I'm in there, baby. Give
what
me
does
more.
she say? Nancy says, I'm going to have to leave for jury duty soon. Sucks.
What?
Nancy, do what I did, which is I told them that because the defendant was brown and had face tattoos, I would simply not be able to put aside my biases against him. And dude, I said that out loud in a courtroom full of people, and niggas broke their neck at me. And I stood on business and I said it louder. They were like, excuse me. And I said, because of his face tattoos and the color of his skin, he looks like a bad guy from a show, and I will not be able to put my bias against him to the side. And they were like, oh, okay, you're excused.
Perfect.
It was awesome. So there you go, Nancy. Be racist, be discriminatory, and they will.
But she's because he is brown. I cannot.
I don't like the Browns anymore.
Too much dishonor.
Actually see him.
How dare you? All right, go.
Okay, so she says, I do strongly encourage you to listen to the Blurry Creatures episode with the pastor from episode 7 and 8 of the Telepathy Tapes podcast that Top considered a throwaway episode. In my opinion, furthest thing from the truth. Yeah, he always gets
fuck you. All right, Victoria.
This pastor goes deep and brings God the Father and Jesus into his narrative. Yeah, we know that part.
I'm saying the episodes, they were throwaway of the telepathy tapes because so much was edited out. His episode with Blurry Creatures.
The telepathy tapes called them a throwaway. They threw them out of the thing, yeah.
His thing with Blurry Creatures I thought was great. I just think that those guys are not clueless, but a little behind the ball, which is fine.
Yeah.
They'll catch up. They're going to see our tinfoil hat episode. They'll catch up.
Dude, I hope that does well. It looks like it's crushing. It's crushing on Twitter and it's crushing on Rumble. But, I just want that. I want that message to get out because I feel like we did it. Hey, by the way, guys, if you heard the episode, sound off in the chat. Did you love it? Did it crush? Was it everything that you hoped for? Or did we suck? Because I think it was Mount Crushmore. But, who am I? I'm biased.
His brown face with tattooed. I'm biased.
He also stated that when the children talk about Jesus, it was edited out. And I wonder to what degree the children talked about Jesus. That's pretty cool. These kids that are leaving their bodies and meeting up on the hill is incredible. It's a big deal, and they have something to say. Yes, Jesus is all over this so-called telepathy through children with autism. Listen to you guys for 5 months now. I think this is an avenue you would consider worth exploring. So this was 2 months ago, and since then we've really fleshed out this, our ideas on this, and we've presented it in many ways. I wonder what Victoria thinks about our recent work on it.
Yeah, Victoria, email again. Revise this now that we beat this to death.
If we did it, if we did what you wanted us to do. Maybe you could even have him on. That would be interesting. Yeah, we should reach out to that guy. He seems open to share his ministry, and it's something the world needs to hear. Despite what these assholes have been trying to do to us all and our children, Jesus still reigns and is winning at their game because, let's face it, who truly rules the unseen realm? That's right, based. Christ does. I came away convinced. I believe what the enemy meant for evil, God turns to good. Yes, I would say that is accurate. But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. That's Genesis 50:20.
Well, this is what I was talking to my cousin-in-law about, right? That's what we call him yesterday.
I think that's an appropriate, not one you hear a lot, but yeah, cousin-in-law.
Yeah, so he's the pastor, going to be a pastor of a church, and we got into a conversation about frequency or something like that. And he was like, "Oh, it's just very new agey." And I was like, "Yeah, but like these lines are very blurred." And like we just continue. So you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. It's the same kind of thing. It's like they're using these principles that God meant for good, and they use it for, I guess you can call it evil, or things that are not aimed at God. So sinning, basically. And it was a long conversation, but I'm like trying to explain to him where I'm coming from with this. And it sounds crazy to somebody with an orthodox view, or I guess, traditional view of whatever Christianity is. But it's like, hey, people are going to find this eventually.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, so if you take, you pluck a string on a guitar and you have a device that could read the frequency, and you go, yes, there's a frequency emanating from that. That's an observation, a unit of measurement, something tangible. It's a part of what makes up this realm. If I pick up a rock and I take a tape measure and I go, this rock is 2 inches across and 3 inches high, that's just a unit of measurement, right? So it doesn't mean frequency is just measuring harmonics or measuring sound. Inches, centimeters, feet, these are just measuring physical objects or distances. So it's the same thing, in my opinion. I don't think that observing just the nature of a thing and then defining it as frequency is inherently bad, but I understand where he's coming from, because the New Age movement, the Gnostics, everybody has made it so, but you can't let these people have a chokehold on the building blocks of the realm, the observable facts about the realm that we inhabit. And we need to start pulling that away from them, because they don't create these things. They don't create frequencies. They don't create inches, feet, and miles either. They just take the laws of God's realm and they bend them to their will. That's it. And then because of that, all of a sudden these units of measurement become distasteful, and it's a shame. It's a baby with the bathwater situation.
Yep, that's exactly what's going on. So we try to get away from that, but it is what. There's somebody in the chat, Rebecca, said my email's, but read mine. I don't even see yours in here. Nancy, you bitch. You lying bitch.
Well, look for that. I'm gonna finish this up. She goes on with another biblical passage. It says, "And we know all the things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose." And that is Romans 8:28. And Victoria says, "Hope to hear your thoughts." Well, thank you very much, Victoria. I'm sorry that it took so long. And I think you're right. I'm going to look into it. We're going to try to get the guy from the Blurry Creatures episode on, the guy who said that they basically stripped Jesus from the telepathy tapes. I'd be very interested in having a conversation with him. And Victoria, I'd be interested in knowing whether or not you've been keeping up with our work, seeing how our ideas have evolved in regards to this, and maybe in particular our episode of Tinfoil Hat, which I thought was kind of
excellent.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was the best. Okay, she says, waiting for you to read the older ones. That's what Nancy says. So in other words, slacking on my job like a faced.
No, she's right. She's right. We
right,
just skip around all crazy, but that's fine. We're going to skip around again right now. So
yeah, Victoria, let us know. Oh, Victoria's here. And that tells me, hello, Victoria.
I'm not
doxing
all
you
that
with
shit.
your last name. Oh, wait, the chat's on the screen.
How dare you?
Doxed!
Oh, my God.
Doxed!
Stop doing that to people.
But David, they like it. Do you guys like it when the chat's on the screen, or would you rather it not be because you guys are the hidden babies in the Patreon chat? Let us know. Okay.
Just don't use your real name. There's nothing. All right, we found you, Rebecca. We found you, and Victoria.
Hi.
I hope you like that.
Yeah. What did you think, Victoria? Have you listened to the episode of Tinfoil Hat? I'd love to get your thoughts on that. because it's unfair that we're having a conversation 2 months ahead of your initial conversation with us.
Okay, so this one's from Rebecca. Let's read this one. Do you have it pulled up there? Hi, David and Top Lobsta. It says, the headline reads something crazy like Crazy Dreams Disney producer Chuck Norris. Okay.
Whoa. There you go. You've caught my attention.
Yes, I missed that. I missed that one. She goes, I love you guys. Very cool.
Thank you.
Your
Rebecca.
show has grown on me tremendously.
Ooh, I like tremendously as opposed to tremendously.
That's a new one.
Cooler. I like it.
That's a
I like her because
Davidism.
she makes up words just like me.
Yes, perfect. It's actually amazing to see how you two have evolved as individuals. Even your voices sound more masculine.
She's talking to me. She's talking. I've been adding artificial bass to my voice.
It is crazy. I was listening to some of your old stuff, and it's like very mouse-like.
What old stuff?
I just scrolling through your old catalog of.
Are you going back to where I belong?
Oh, even further back. Yeah, I found everything.
That's embarrassing.
We're gonna start posting it to the.
No, we're not gonna start posting those old episodes to anything. Get out of here with that.
I'm super picky about podcasts. I listen because I have a, how would you say, tender spirit, or maybe I'm just super protective right now because 3 of the 4 of my kids are under the age of 4, and the dark side of the spirit world is extra sneaky about getting babies. So you listen to this around them. I feel so bad when I.
Look, man, we say a lot of things, a lot of naughty words, but the heart of our message is not one that is going to bring you closer to that's going to corrupt you.
You just called our producer.
Well, this is a statement of fact, not like a. She's a. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Yeah, she is a good.
Okay. she's gonna you. I mean, you have to see this person.
Nancy's the. Nancy is one of my favorite people. I if I'm not mistaken, Nancy came to all of this through Timeline Cleanse, and the whole watching the development of Nancy and the embedding of Nancy into the community of dangerous retards has been a genuine pleasure. She gets it more than anybody gets it.
Yeah, that's right. I'd say so. All right, so. As you know, babies cannot consent for themselves. So you, as their parent, you are their consent. Especially being a woman, that's a major flaw. I'm so internally woven with my kids. I breastfed all of them and birth all naturally. Shout out to you.
Yeah, crushing.
I wish my wife would have done she tried to do the natural thing, but like when you're in a hospital, it's just not a good spot to be in.
Nancy says, "Nice try, Raven. Still gonna kill you." I mean, hey, if that's how I go out, it's been real, dude.
It's gonna be a dope video for sure.
It's gonna be a dope video. I don't know who's gonna play it. Top Lobsta Cleanse. There you go.
Top line cleanse. Yeah, we'll play it. We'll laugh. We'll have a good drink and a laugh. We'll smoke a cigar. So. All right. They're all homeschooled, and we all spend a ton of time together. I love my kids, but let's just say your podcast brings that adulting part of life I need to stay sane. Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's also ministering God's word and professing the love of Jesus, which is a crazy sentence to say. And that's incredible. I am a poor, so I wish I could show my support through money, but it's just going to have to be through prayer and love.
No, she's here. She's in the chat. She made it. Moving on up.
You made it. When did you write this? Yeah, you wrote this April 17th. So that was what, 2 months ago?
That's she's made $5 in 2 months.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you, Rebecca. That's freaking awesome. All right. Anywho, the reason I'm writing you is to share some freaky shit that happened to me, but I'll give you a brief backstory of what led up to the freaky shit. Okay. My name is Rebecca. Yes, we know. I'm Rebecca. 35 years old. Very cool. Right in between me and David. Yeah. Born and raised in Portland, Oregon area. Shout out anyone who's listening that I referred to the show to. LOL. Now I'm raising 4 children with my husband in Milwaukee, Oregon.
It sounds like a better place.
I don't know if it is, but some of my friends come from Portland, Oregon. The people that were over yesterday with the 2 kids, very good people, just trying to live life. It seems like Oregon is like a really cool place. It's just got taken over by some leftists. Oh, she's rich. I'm rich, you fucking pores. Thank you, Rebecca. Yes. Specifically, I'm from Canby. I don't know what that means. For reference,
she's just doxing herself hard, and I like it.
Saying she's like, I got nothing to hide. Fine.
Come for me, motherfuckers.
For reference sake, it's about 20 minutes south of Portland. My dad is a pastor at a 4-square church there and has been since I was born. So about 35 years now. I hated the pressure of having to be, I guess, perfect in the public eye. What I mean by that is being in a small town where your dad's a pastor of the largest church, you're put under a microscope. Yeah, pastor's kids, not fun.
It's a hard place to be.
People are literally delusional and think we have to be holy and perfect. Majority of people in the town were quick to judge and gossip for every shortcoming. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I had a really great life, but out of all my siblings, I struggled the most. I believe that the enemy was really trying to attack me. At a young age, before I even knew what sex was, I had a dream that Tim the Tool Man Taylor from that show, the guy that peeked over the fence.
He does that noise. He goes, huh? No, that's the neighbor, dog. Tim the Tool Man Taylor that's the main.
Oh, Tim? He's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
He molested. Wow.
That's interesting.
After that dream, I started to understand things about how sex in a perverted way. Sounds silly, but I would secretly make my Barbies have sex. That's crazy, right? So
I had the same thing. I have a memory of like a sexual encounter that I don't think actually happened in real life from when I was like 3.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you don't think it happened or it did happen?
No, I don't think it happened. But I knew quite a bit more than I ever should have, considering that within the context of my life, there was never anything like that. I was never exposed to anything like that. I didn't see anything like that until I was much older. Still too young, but there was nothing within the context of my life, unless I was molested. I might have been molested, but I also had that where I knew some things I shouldn't have known.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because it's not uncommon. So
now, I remember having a dream after I saw Jurassic Park when I was 6 years old that I saw dinosaurs walking down the street in front of my house, and when I was trying to bring it to like, you know, my family's attention, there was a mystery woman there, and she was in like lingerie and stockings and behaving very sexually. Don't know her, like nobody that I've ever recognized, and I've never seen anything like that. Like one time I saw my aunt naked, and that was like a huge accident. Like she freaked out. There's a shower in our basement, and I went down into the basement, and she couldn't hear me. She didn't know I was there. And then she screamed at me like, "Get the back upstairs. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh!" Like it was, you know, like a real bad, or I was molested. I don't know. Who knows, really?
All of the above. We'll
shows, you know? Why not? Why not both? All right.
So what little kids does this who has never seen sex or known about sex organs? Mm-hmm. Also had a dream that still terrifies me to this day. I was in my house and I looked out of the window and there were 4 to 5 male lions prowling in my backyard. And I still remember the fear I experienced / felt in that dream. It was as if it was really happening. I always tried to convince myself that it was a representation of God protecting me, because when I was little, and still now, when I see a lion, I think of God, Lion of Judah. Until about a year ago, I read a verse that I have probably read before many times, but never occurred to me. Let me find the verse 1 second. When you're typing, do you have to say 1 second? So here she puts it in.
No, it's very personal. It's very like in the moment. Feels like a real conversation.
She's talking to us, and then she puts the verse, but in like the lightest font ever. So
yeah, I don't know why it appeared. I had to highlight it because it appeared in like ghost font.
Yeah, very interesting. Interesting forms of communication, Rebecca. Okay,
I like it.
Peter 5:8. Be sober-minded. Be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour.
Ooh, interesting.
Are you Indian by any? Because Indians seem to have a hard time with lions, always getting wrapped up.
It's really cheetahs. Although I did watch like 6 Jeets kick the out of a cheetah recently, which put a
it's
hole in
tigers.
that argument. You know, we're like, oh, can 100 men kill a gorilla? And I'm like, I watched 6 malnourished Indian men beat a cheetah to death. And I know a cheetah is not a gorilla, but certainly if you scale it up.
Did you see the
100
video
men.
today? The Indian guy that beat Magnus, the chess champion. He beat him at chess. Dude
Yeah,
flips
people were
out.
saying that Magnus was a bad sport about it, but he immediately shook his hand. And like, he was just like, he's invested, dude. You know how it is to compete. Like, you're passionate, you're locked in, and it's a big devastating moment. Magnus shook his hand and then he went and walked off, and then that Indian dude kept sniffing his wrist because probably smells bad.
Yeah, I
Did
don't
you see
know.
that? He
When,
was like,
yeah, after the video, I just had the strong sense that like I was like that cheated. Like I just
oh
feel
yeah, 100%.
Indian guy cheated. Check his butthole. He probably had something in his butt.
He's got a Neuralink with a whole thing of telemarketer Indians in his head.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean? Like,
sir,
sir, move
C5,
back.
sir, F1, sir. So
cheating
she goes,
idiot.
I had the most intense flashback of this dream, and I feel like I understood. I think it was more for my future, being a mom, wife, etc., and where the world is heading. A visual of the spirit world. You may not see it in plain sight, but there's always a prowler waiting to pounce on you at your weakest and most vulnerable moment. That is true.
Those niggas.
It's really sad when you think about it, because it's like without fail, that does happen. Even if it's not like a physical person, but you're like, up, here we go. Like you're being piled on, and it's like and you just know here's one more thing.
Yeah,
like we're ready for
show
it.
up when you're vulnerable. That's it. But that shows you how weak they are.
Yeah. So anywho, when I was about 8 or so, I had a dream that Chuck Norris molested me. Crazy.
Head kicked me and molested me.
She had a dream that Chuck Norris and that native looking guy who was his sidekick had kidnapped me, and they were both wearing tight jeans, and I could see their bulge in the dream. What the dude? But I feel like I'm reading like a Nicholas Sparks novel or something.
Incredible.
It was sick. The native guy had me on his lap and was cutting my upper thigh with his pocket knife and asking me if it hurt in what felt like a sexual way.
Whoa.
Very creepy. What's even more creepy is that this year I found out about that daycare/school in California that was trafficking kids to celebrities. Some of the children testified of seeing Chuck Norris, but no one believed them.
Dude,
Is that what
nobody
we
wants to believe him? I didn't even know that happened.
That's what we were talking about with Ryderly. Like, man, what school was that? They were, like Paris Hilton was in this school or
This is like
center?
it's like a reform school for misbehaving children kind of a deal where like what's his name? Dr. Phil sent the Catch Me Outside girl there, and she ended I don't know if this is the same thing, but she ended up pushing back against it really hard, trying to bring awareness to the whole situation, and they were using it as a way to traffic children, is my understanding. And obviously a ton of abuse happens there, which is interesting because you're sending your kids off to a school where basically they're telling you, we're going to do a lot of things that they don't like because you've never disciplined your child. And so they're going to say X, Y, and Z happened to me, but that's why you're sending them here. And that is a perfect cover to do horrifying things to children and then be like, yeah, they don't like discipline. What can you do? And it's like, no, they don't like Chuck Norris and his tight pants and his little Indian sidekick.
Yeah, it's cutting your legs.
your
That's so
thighs,
crazy, dude. So are you thinking that this actually happened?
No, I don't think that's the case.
Then she says, then I start thinking about astroplaning and witchcraft and I don't know how it all works, but I know Peeps is sick and Peeps with money are even sicker. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm saying Peeps.
I like Rebecca. All right, let's keep it going.
All right, side note, never told my parents or anyone, not until I got married. It was almost as if I felt ashamed of it. I wonder if your husband would be like okay with like a whole pass for Chuck Norris, right?
I mean, do you have an option?
You don't have it. Yeah, this is like past tense, so this has already happened. This
I'm
sucks.
saying Chuck Norris beats your ass.
I think I fuck Chuck Norris up. I like
Oh,
all
now
the shit about Chuck. Even before, that's like they were like, oh, he gave Bruce Lee a run for his money. I think Bruce Lee gets fucked up by most people nowadays anyway.
You ever see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Was that it? Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Brad Pitt is the main guy, and there's a character in there. It's a long movie, but it's actually pretty good. A character in there that's playing Bruce Lee. And Brad Pitt's character, I think, is a bodyguard. He's also like a stunt double. And so they get into an altercation. Bruce Lee starts, showing off all his karate moves. And he comes at Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt grabs him, swings him, and throws him into a car door. And the whole thing caves in and just knocks Bruce Lee unconscious because he's like 5'3".
5'5".
Yeah, and 90 pounds. And he beats the shit out of him. And everyone's like, oh, my God. And he goes, I don't know who this guy is or why he's acting like that. But
yeah. MMA has really done a number on the perception of like, it's ruined a lot of things. Wrestling, pro wrestling, freaking, these guys that are doing kung fu. I'm like, we've already seen what happens when you put kung fu against somebody that's actually trying to hit you, like trying to really hurt you.
Well,
doesn't work
Chuck
out well.
Norris, I wonder, let me see, Chuck Norris height, because if you know how to fight a little bit and you're a big guy, he's 5'10", so he's pushing 6 feet. He probably weighed $170, $180. And yeah, there you go. It says 165. And if he knows how to move well, and also he did compete, so he's probably not got that fear. A lot of people have like the hesitation. They're saying Bruce Lee's 5'8", my ass. But the same thing, like Steven Seagal back in the day, he's listed here as 6'4". He's over 200 pounds, and he is at least familiar with how to grab a. These guys will give you a hard time. It's really
they give you a hard time, but like I don't know, the whole thing of him doing this or that. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, there's certainly a level of mystique and mythology associated with these characters that if you also knew how to fight and weren't afraid of fighting, you could put a boot against Bruce Lee's chest and probably level him. Probably collapse his lung, break his sternum.
He's like a little Chinese dude. It's like, all right,
he's like a child.
Out with that. All right. So anyway, also had dreams of the end time. One in particular, we were all waiting in line in this sterile white room. There were 2 elevators in front of me, one going up, one going down, and I knew the people going down were going to hell for some reason. I saw Albert Einstein, and that went down. And then my mom got in and went down, and I was like, JK, and went up.
Interesting.
That was not cool. So many end times dreams, though, too many to even tell. She puts a Wikipedia article. What the hell is this about?
McMartin preschool trial. That's interesting. Well, we should have a gander. I'll open the link.
Yeah. Oh, I guess this is the preschool or the school that she's talking about.
I see a blind woman. Is that her mother? The McMartin preschool trial was a daycare sexual abuse case in the 1980s, prosecuted by the Los Angeles District Attorney Ira Reiner. Members of the McMartin family, who operated a preschool in Manhattan Beach, California, were charged with hundreds of acts of sexual abuse of children in their care. Accusations were made in 1983, with arrests and the pre-trial investigation taking place from 1984 to 1987, and trials running from 87 to 90. The case lasted 7 years, but resulted in no convictions. No.
Yeah.
And all charges were dropped by 1990. By the case's end, it had become the longest and most expensive series of criminal trials in America's history. And I would imagine that they probably spent that much money, especially given the area, right? Manhattan Beach, California. These motherfuckers are probably trafficking children to the stars and the elites. And so, because otherwise, how does a preschool operation have enough money to drag a trial on for that long? Because it's like a lot of the times they'll just drain you of funds, but somehow this preschool is able to keep it up. And I think that when it comes to kids, oftentimes they're in bed with some of the most powerful, influential, and richest motherfuckers on the planet, and they're the ones who are keeping your trial going.
That's dark. We have to look into that a little bit more, but let's continue. I was always a good kid when I was younger. She keeps saying that, so it makes me think she wasn't.
I don't think you were a good kid.
I listened to my parents, my teachers. I was really nice to other kids. If I saw a kid getting bullied, I'd always step up and say something to the bully. Even throughout junior high, I was known to be approachable and kind. I would pretend date boys, but never kiss or do anything more than a hug. That's weird. Pretend date. That's like
I guess that's just like if you have boyfriends or girlfriends, like when you're really young and you're not doing much than like holding hands. That's a pretend date, right? That's not a.
Okay, yeah. It's like a pretend gambling. I say the same thing.
Same thing.
Whilst I knew other girls giving BJs and doing it at 6th grade, not cool, really sad. When I was in 8th grade, I took a trip to Paris and Africa with my parents and cousin.
You know what's crazy is now they're the same thing.
Yeah, do girls talk about that with each other? Like they'd be like, I do BJs. Like, is that like, it must be a big deal, right? In the girl community.
Yeah. I remember being in middle school and like, you know, word would get around that they so and so was having sex. I remember in middle school, some girls' nudes were getting passed around. I never saw them. She was black, so it probably would have been gross. But
I see those anyway. Yeah, I keep those.
But you missed my banger of a joke. It was a great joke. She said she visited Paris and Africa, and I said they're both the same thing now. You visit one and
it's redundant.
It's redundant, yeah. All right.
My dad at the time was on Foursquare's International Board of Leadership or something like that. We were basically on a business trip for the church. We started in Paris and it was cool. I think the overseas are overrated. Yes. It stunk. The people stunk. Everyone smokes. The rooms are like closets. And after my dad met with some French leaders and we took our little tour of Paris, we flew into Lagos, Nigeria. When we landed, it was like something out of a movie. The airport's tiny and there are more officials than there are people flying in and out. You're warned about the officials stealing your right in front of your eyes and or making you pay them money for your.
Yeah,
it was wild.
And shit. Yeah,
it's disgusting. This is every time we go. Like my wife's like, yeah, let's go to another round. It's like I'm done with these places. I don't care about
culture.
Your culture.
The silly outfits and the nasty food. The culture.
Yeah, but we walk outside, and to my right is a mother in the dirt with no legs and a baby and 2 toddlers with her begging for money.
Dang.
100% culture shock. Exactly. Also being a girl/woman made my heart sink. I won't get into too much detail about that trip except for when we arrive at our hotel room. I think it was the Sheraton. My cousin and I right away noticed a hidden camera in the room, immediately cover it up. I fell extremely ill for 3 days and was literally unable to walk or talk. Why do we go into these places?
You know what's crazy? By the way, my old apartment was filled with black mold, and I think we were getting close to dying before we left there.
Yeah, dude, that's one of the, honestly, you're going to take a while to detox from that. You should talk to my wife about some of the things that you should probably take for that.
Yeah, because we were getting constant feelings of like vertigo, pressure in your head, random bouts of nausea, extreme bouts of fatigue randomly. And yeah. And it's interesting. Somebody recently made this correlation between, I think it was a Merkel episode, making a correlation between black mold and demonic oppression, and how I do think that these spiritual entities use things in the physical realm like parasites and potentially even mold to get a better foothold on you, to get more influence. That's part of what was messing us up in the house when we first moved in.
She was very sick, and we found that there was a mold, there was black mold right here in this room. We had a second staircase that comes down on this side. When we removed it, we saw like all the black mold. We had to take all the wood out, paint it out. It was a whole thing. But that's no joke, man. That could really mess you up. So many people live with it. They don't understand how bad that stuff is.
Yeah, well, I called maintenance once to be like, yo, this mold and moisture is dripping under the sink or whatever. Yeah, anything black is a good point. And they tried to show up one time while I was doing a show. And I was like, I'm not going to let you be in my house while I'm in here doing the show. And you're going to be around it was only my kid that was home. I'm like, you can't be here. So you've got to go. And then, you put in another work order and those motherfuckers just never get around to it. So,
yeah. So you just move. All right.
Let's move.
Let's keep moving. I do not remember much, he says. After I got back, we went to this polyamorous village where this 9-year-old chief was the father, basically everyone there.
Hold on there, Papito. For some reason, you're getting all choppy and sloppy, nasty, sounding bad. Take a breath. Take a breath. Think about it.
Go ahead. You continue reading. I'll listen.
You disgust me. Okay. She says, I do not remember much. After I got better, we went to this polyamorous village. Huge mistake. Where this 90-year-old chief was the father of basically everyone there. Wow. And was also a Foursquare pastor. LOL. Bruh. I can't. Anyway, I came home and the boys at school were noticing me. I think it's because I lost 10 pounds because of the mold poisoning and everything else. I was never fat, just curvy, and developed at a young age. My mom said my body betrayed me. Yeah, it's a horrifying thing. I'm blessed to be raising a boy. Raising girls is a totally different challenge. You know, with boys, it's like you got to worry about them going to jail or dying. You know, violence and like that is really what you got to worry about. Dying. Yeah, no, because it was like so many times I almost died as a young boy because I was just in dumb situations that girls don't typically put themselves in.
Like boys, you're like, I'm worried that you're not gonna live, and girls are like, I'm worried that you're gonna make more life.
Yeah.
Be in the middle.
That's interesting, right? You're on either sides of the life spectrum, depending on boy or girl. That's a fascinating observation, actually. Okay, so mom said my body betrayed me. Oi. So I went to this party at one of my good friend's mansions, what the and had my first kiss with Nikki Kraft, a Jew. Unbelievable.
All right,
Fucking
stop
Nikki
the show.
Kraft.
Stop it. We're done.
We're done. Don't talk to us anymore, Rebecca.
Red hair. He had red hair.
He had red hair with Liberty spikes. Oh.
It's Nephilim.
His dad was a big-time Disney producer, so it's very clear that Rebecca comes from Monet. Because
Monet, I know, right? How much is? She's probably at the $5 tier.
She is probably at the $5 tier. We know you got more money. What's the matter? You don't want the telepathy tier? You don't want to spend $33? Okay. His dad was a big-time Disney producer, Richard Kraft. Baby, I love it. They are both creeps. Those niggas. I later found out in life through my hairdresser/friend that Nikki, who is married with children, hacked her phone through an app he created. Damn, he created an app and sent her a naked picture of herself that she had in her photos but never sent to anyone or posted anywhere. I'm definitely name dropping because Disney producers, as we all know, are real life pedos. Damn.
What was the app? Yeah, we should know that app.
That's crazy, dude. What the
damn.
All right, she goes, you want to pick up from here? You're regulated again.
I'll cut to the chase. I could go on, but not enough time. When I was 15, started going to the mall with friends, and for the first time, getting attention from older guys. Bad. Unbeknownst to my parents, one day after school, I went to the mall with some friends and was supposed to spend the night at my brother's condo afterward. This was around the time of Hurricane Katrina, and I remember meeting a refugee. Oh my God, you're a mess. See, this is what I mean. Kid just can't be trusted.
Dude,
what are you doing?
My wife said that when she used to go to the mall with her friends, they'd get hit on by adult men, and she was 13.
Yeah, and it's like they're like girls are so young, and even the ones that aren't young, they're just like super naive. It's like, what do you think? What do you think is really going on?
I forgot what my wife was talking about. It might have been like a Reddit story of some chick talking about when she was 13, how she would it was a game to try to lure older men in. So this chick is on Reddit talking about how her and her girlfriends, when they were real little, would go to the mall and then they would try to pull an adult man. And it was like a challenge. And I'm like,
what's the challenge?
I don't know, but I'm going to hit you in the face with a belt. It's the only way.
the metal part, like
the metal part of the belt. You're taking it to the forehead.
Dude, it's crazy. It's really
horrifying.
We were at the resort, and it's like we were at a children's resort. Like recently, I told you when I went there, you would be surprised the amount of women that show up with their children. They show up, fake titted out, and then wearing like a thong, like not even a thong,
dude.
Like a bikini. And I was like, you're at the wave pool. You're at the children's slide. There's a separate section for the children, and you're here all day. Because I'm here all day because I've got children. You went from your hotel room. You premeditated this. You picked this out. Said, I'm gonna wear this at the children's pool.
And you know what they say? This is something I've been talking about my wife about because I think I nailed it. So they'll go like, why is it? It's just butt cheeks. Why are you making it sexual? That's weird. That is such a devious.
It's a gaslighting.
It's a gaslighting technique, but you see it most prominently on display in those videos where people are caught cheating. male or female. What'll happen is the spouse will show up. They'll catch them in the act, like having dinner with another woman or another man, and they'll go, how long has this been going on? And the other person will say, are you really doing this right now? This is really weird behavior. This is really weird. You really set this up? You did this? You're sneaking around? You're trying to set me up to catch? This is very weird. And it's the same exact behavior that you get from these sluts when they're like walking around in sheer tops and their nipples are protruding through disrespectfully, and they go, you go, that's a little inappropriate to be wearing around, and they go, what do you? That's weird. You're the one sexualizing this. You're weird, and it's like it's the same as the person who gets caught cheating. You're gaslighting. It's an amazing technique, and it's transparent as just as transparent as your short.
A great tweet from one of my friends online. I forget his account. I'll remember it, but he's like, there's a reason why every society throughout human history has subjugated women and kept their head wrapped and in towels, except for this one. And it's like, it's very sad. It's very sad. It's a sad reality, but it's like, you just can't be trusted anymore at this point. What the are you doing? Like, left to your own devices, this is how you choose to present yourself. You've got kids. Your kids are here. It's wild.
Yeah, I can't stand it. It's the same thing where like Spanish culture is like, oh, twerking is just part of our, like, that's just part, you're making it weird. It's got nothing to do with sexuality. And then you see like children twerking and everything, and you're like, this is not, this isn't absent of sexuality. This is sexuality on display. See, man, crushing it. This is sexuality on display, but they'll gaslight you and they'll go, no, you're the one that's making it weird. You're the one that's making about sexuality. I'm like, you're swinging your asshole, to and fro.
Dangerously close. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, your asshole is dangerously close from being out. And so Rebecca says she wears a one piece. My wife does too. And it's like, it leads you to question, like, well, because I get it, like you're in the pool and it's hot and you're trying to go get wet or get a tan. But there's like, the women have crossed the line way too much where it's like, now you have to like drag the line, put you in a burqa, it's like everyone has to wear a burqa. Is that where we have to be? In order to slide back to,
can we draw the line at like, if I can catch a whiff of your asshole, you've gone too far?
For real.
You know what I mean? Like
if you move a different, like I feel like dudes are right. Dudes are wearing shorts. Like if you do like a cartwheel, actually, maybe you have to do a cartwheel for no reason. If I could see your balls or your butthole, whatever, after the cartwheel, you're not wearing enough. Yeah, we got to kill you in the wave pool. Get your body float.
Disgusting people, but we're weird. We're making it weird. I get it.
I'm weird. Why are you looking at my butthole? All right. I remember he was homeless, the refugee, basically, and was given a Greyhound ticket to Portland. Anyway, I don't know if meeting him is relevant to what happens next, but I thought I'd share this. We parted ways, and my friend took me to my brother's house. I can't remember if I talked to the refugee on the phone that night, but if I did, I wasn't supposed to be doing that because my parents were very strict and tried to keep me as sheltered as possible, which I can appreciate now that I'm a parent. Yeah, I don't even know if that's the right thing anymore because they're going to see it. But anyway, so here's the freaky part. Never, ever experienced this before. I think not sheltering your kid, but just being racist with them, telling them and letting them know the realities of some of these things, and also making it funny. Mm-hmm. Like when we see people doing like, I'll be like, look at this guy. And they're like, yeah, what's up? Like they're scared at first. And I'm like, that guy's a crackhead. And they might not be a crackhead, but that's just what we call everybody who's doing whacked out stuff. And they're like, you want it?
I took my son to the gym here in the new apartment. And then after the gym, if you open the doors, it leads right to the pool. And in the pool, it wasn't filled with Cocoa Puffs. It was filled with there was an old white couple there. And when we got into the water, they said, good morning. I said, good morning. How are you? They said, oh, we're good. Beautiful weather, huh? I said, absolutely. And then I started coaching my son on like how to do, I don't even know what it's called, like how to swim. I guess it's breaststroke. You're throwing your hands over because he swims underwater really well, but he doesn't do that one too well. So we're going through that. And the old lady says, wow, what a fantastic swimmer. He looks like a pro, classic old white lady. And, he's, oh, thank you, ma'am. And it's this really wonderful interaction. And then we get out while the getting's good. And on the walk home, I said, see how nice they were? see how like there was no threat of danger. They weren't loud. They weren't obnoxious. Any of that. He was like, yeah, it was actually really nice. And then we're walking back to the apartment and we have no shoes on. And I say, see how there's no glass on the floor and there's no trash around? And he's like, yeah, it is really nice here. And eventually he goes like, not a lot of black people, huh? I go,
Oh,
not a lot of black people. Not a lot of black people.
it's very sad, but it's true. I listen.
Yeah.
I'm not here to make the rules. I'm just here to
Observe
tell my
them.
kids about them.
That's it.
All right. So, side note: never touched drugs or alcohol until I was like 17 or 18.
Good for you. That's
Just
pretty
so-
long.
Yeah, it's a long time to hold out. Just so everyone knows, this was not induced by something I took or drank. I gone to bed, and when I was sleeping, felt like I had woken up in the middle of the night, but that classic feeling of sleep paralysis was happening to me. I felt like I was frozen with fear. I was on my stomach, but I couldn't move.
It's even worse when you're on your stomach. It's it's
you're
much more
stuck.
vulnerable.
Yeah, ass out. I did manage to pull the pillow over my head, and I was looking out of the side of my eyes toward the door of the room in complete frozen fear. I still remember the physical feeling. Literally, my eyes hurt from looking from side to side so hard, and my hair was kind of over my face and eyes. It's the hardest thing to explain, but I saw 3 creepy men, 2 tall, 1 really short. They had black, greasy hair, trench coats, and commander boots. They were standing outside of my brother's condo, jiggling the door to break in. I couldn't make their faces out. I saw their clothes and hair in detail. And now I know what it's called. I think I was astral planing because I was able to see them as if I was standing right there or kind of hovering above them, like hovering around them. Also, the lighting was like the lighting outside on a full moon. It was putrid, cold, and bluish. They enter into the condo, and I see all 3 walking up the stairs with their heads down, greasy hair dangling. I was the first in the room at the top of the stairs. Fear started washing over me like I was like intense waves. Then I see them, and I see a hand open my door, and now I'm back in my body, still stuck as and looking up at the open door. 3 terrifying heads look into the room, stacked on top of each other like a cartoon. And although dark, I could see their faces. Greasy black hair strung over their face, bulging eyeballs. Mostly see white, but their whites were yellowish. They were black people.
What is that? Glaucoma? What is that?
I don't know what that is, man.
Why are
but
their
like,
eyes yellow?
Maybe to
Jamaican.
see in the dark.
Could be that. Could be that.
It's night vision. I can't even recall a nose or mouth, and they make no sounds, but their freaking eyes I can still see. Unnaturally huge and bulging. And then they're just gone. All of a sudden, I'm able to move again, but I'm in the same position. Head halfway under the pillow, hair and face. If I could compare the faces, they look like that freaky weird meme Momo. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know what Momo is. I don't know what it comes from, but I know the image. It's like a pale face, black hair, big eyes, kind of gaunt, very much what she's describing here. It almost seems like she saw grown black-eyed children, but just not with the black eyes in this particular instance. But, whenever they describe like people that are abductee victims and they see their kids again, they're so weird and their eyes are weird and their skin is pale and they're just weird. They're not taken care of, right? It's not like they live in Western culture where they're bathing regularly and all this other shit. They are dirty, creepy looking retards.
Yeah,
greasy
like
black hair.
raised underground or something like that.
Yeah, certainly not raised in the sunlight, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, so the next day, I was actually so happy. I felt like I survived a near-death experience. Won't get into detail, but my life was an absolute show for years. Went to jail, was human trafficked, but God saved me. What the brought me through the other side. I rejoice daily, and I'm in awe of his everlasting goodness. Also, my kids are super healthy, unvaccinated, beautiful human beings. God bless me tenfold. We're trying to get out of the city and homestead, and we pray every day for a way. Super long. Hope you read. Sorry about the horrible punctuation and possible spelling grammar mistakes. You guys are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing in the Jesus.
In the name of.
In the name of Jesus. Yeah, I was like, keep doing. What does that mean? Woohoo. Blessings, Rebecca. Thank you for writing in, Rebecca. Yeah, it's a great story. This is a interesting. I mean, human trafficked, huh? That's a
bummer.
That's
Very interesting.
Hate when that
because
happens.
She seems like she was like kind of, raised at the upper echelons of things. Kind of got to touch, that lifestyle, right? If she's rolling around with people who are the children of Disney executives and like that, and she's going to all these different places and vacationing here, and to me that sounds like you had some money, and then it goes south all the way to homelessness and then back up again. What a roller coaster, man. And then getting trafficked on the way up is not good. But I'm happy to hear that her kids are crushing, unvaccinated, crushing. Very good move. Good mom. Good mom.
Yes, we're glad you're here too. This is man. Oh, yeah, I came from a city, and we got to, I guess, what you consider somewhat of a homestead. It's a struggle, but if you really want to make a way, if you pray about it, it'll open up for you if it's right for you, if that's what you're supposed to do, But man,
very cool though. I feel like Rebecca is a great example of a dangerous, because kind of going back to what I was saying about that opting to stay during the rapture, is like, we aren't here. If you are a buttoned up Christian who really adheres to God's laws and really tries to walk in the way that Jesus walked, and you're here, very happy to have you. But I feel like the content is aimed at people like, well, I make content for people like me, and we've been through the ringer. We're not excellent Christians by any means, but we are believers. And I just think that we're not, there are the people who have the aesthetic of like a Joel Osteen, right? Not the personality. That guy seems like probably not a great guy, but you know what I mean? Like that version of a Christian. And then there are people who are just as on fire for the Lord, but are and have been through things that probably have made them. And I mean that in the best way. And I think that Rebecca, despite what I just said, she is a kind of, she is the caricature of the fan base. You know what I mean? She's a good representation of the people that I think this content really resonates with.
Wow. Big ups to Rebecca. That's
it's just how I feel. I don't know.
Just how
Because I feel like we're here for retards. You have Blurry Creatures and you have Tony Merkel's show, and that's aimed at one segment of Christ believers. And I feel like we reach a totally different audience. In fact, you might say that we reach the people who would be too stupid to be on the first wave of Rapture, if there really was 3.
I think there actually might be. There might be.
Do we have time for one more? We're at the hour and a half mark.
Yeah, I think so. Let's do this one. 415 Brooke. Hopefully we're not doxing her. I don't know what this says. I was hypnotized. I think this might be a fun one. You're gonna have to zoom in on it because it's coming out weird, like a PDF or soming like that.
Hold on, wait. Which one was it? That was weird. Okay, Brooke. I see.
We could open it here.
There it goes. I got it. All right. You want me to start this one?
Yeah, go ahead. Start it up.
It says, "Hi guys, my name is Brooke." Hi, Brooke.
Hello.
When I was a younger, less dangerous senior in high school, back in the good old days of 2011, 2012-ish, these people are like our age.
Yeah,
that's it. A little bit younger, but still.
More girls. I
guess that would be
girls than
right?
I'd like, right?
What's that?
Where the guys at?
We're all women have I think a lot more spiritual happenings.
They have a lot of dreams.
It's just
dreams
weird
about
how many
angels.
Women listen to this show, dude.
You think women cry when they listen to podcasts?
All the time. They just cry. Just
cry.
Just
try to smoke their cigars in the lanai and just cry.
Just cry. That's it. What? But it always strikes me as strange how many women listen to this. Okay, so back in the good old days of 2011, 2012-ish, I had the privilege of being the chaplain of my private Christian high school. What's a chaplain?
The guy with the little mustache.
Oh, okay. Wait, which one?
Silent movies.
Oh, okay.
She did silent movies in the Christian high school.
But she didn't gas the Jews.
Well, keep reading.
Okay. I basically just prayed over our Wednesday chapel and pretended it was I was really and pretended I was really tight with the Lord. So these Wednesday chapels were interesting because our guidance counselor would just have these randos from churches or mission groups come and yap about something. Think no sex till marriage, the dangers of Harry Potter, are Pokemon the devil? They might be.
It sounds like episodes we do.
Yeah, really, right? Is Liberty University the college for you? Like that. Mm-hmm. Usually it was unremarkable and pretty lackluster. However,
it's crazy
Wednesday,
because I've heard all of these are Pokemon the devil.
I've only heard them peripherally because I wasn't raised like this. And I remember thinking like, how? And
it is gay.
Yeah,
it is because they never really touch on like is Dragon Ball Z Nephilim and then really go into it. If I'm telling you,
we're really no better than them, huh?
No, we're better. We're better because we're bringing we're bringing out. I'm like, damn, maybe you might be right.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's like, is Pokemon the devil? And you're like, I don't know. Go on, and they're like, well, what about Pocket Monsters? And it's
there
like,
are monsters in your
can
pocket.
you do better than that? And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, I'm sure.
There was a dude man, what was he was like an ancient, not ancient, but a shaman of some kind of village, and they were showing him Pokemon cards, and he was like, oh yeah, I know that one. Like he knows like these entities, what they look like. Even the names are similar to what he would call them. I was like, dude, that's not good.
I know that turtle squirrel creature.
That turtle squirrel, he's a bitch.
I know he's
in the trees.
What did I do? I lost it. Oh, where am I? Okay, here we go. Okay, so like that, usually it was unremarkable and pretty lackluster. However, one Wednesday, some pastor and his wife roll up, really unassuming like. The dude comes to the front and introduces himself and his wife, explaining what church they are associated with and all that jazz. When all of a sudden, bro's wife decides to pray for the group. The moment she opens her mouth, something is obviously up. Students and teachers are crying, sobbing crying. Oh no. Think ugly Kim K cry. Damn, they made these motherfuckers ugly cry? That's crazy.
Damn.
What are they talking? What is the prayer?
Nobody makes me ugly cry except myself.
Except for
Tony Merkel.
That guy on Tony Merkel's show, and then the star and all that other stuff. I didn't ugly cry, all right? I did it very... The star fell out of the sky. I'm telling you, like, I'm
Dave,
thinking...
You definitely ugly cry because only
I didn't ugly cry, dude.
Half of your face cries.
No, I had a dignified stream... I didn't win.
It must look so funny because, I'm telling you, half of your face is forehead, and half of your face suffering. You know,
it is very emasculating for a man with a cigar and a little plastic Solo cup filled with red wine, like a bitch, and I'm just sobbing on the porch. Yeah,
you don't have glass, right? Because you fucking left all your glass.
No, I don't have wine glasses. I'm not going to use. I have these really wonderful glasses that my wife picked up. You hear this?
Why don't we do this, guys? We should do an Amazon wish list. David literally lost all of his stuff in the ghetto storm. Just didn't go back. That black kid won.
I couldn't fill the car anymore. I lost everything. I lost so much. So anyway, and mind you, this is just a normal prayer. So this bitch doesn't even say anything crazy. Asking God to be with us, praying for open minds and such. Seriously, nothing crazy. Anyways, someone turns off the lights and they just start us. No, that's not. Someone turns off the lights and they just start going person to person and praying for individuals. People continue crying. Eventually the bell rings and the lights come on and we all dust off our slacks and kilts and go to class.
That's wild. So just the lights go off and people are praying.
And this is in between classes?
Just like a strobe light. They're like...
You know, it's so much better, though, because in my school, it was like the bell would ring and you'd try to go to math class and would fight. Everybody would fight each other, would fight you. You'd get stabbed, and then you'd go to math class.
They'd be in the hallway like...
Yeah, constantly. I mean, I remember there were times when the bell would ring and you would, there would be a fight, and then you'd go to tell your homies about it. Like, yo, in between third and fourth period, there was a fight. And they were like, yeah, there was a fight over by the gym side, too. And then somebody else would be like, yeah, there was a third fight in the
staircase.
The staircase, in the same, bell segment, whatever, in the same transition to class. Like, it was unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable. So eventually the bell rings. We dust our shit off. We go back to class. But before I head out, I introduce myself, and they end up inviting the senior class to their youth group thing. So I let my classmates know, and half of us go. So like 10 people. I can't wait for the. She says, I can't for the life of me remember if it was that night or like a week later, but we did end up at the church. We discovered, to our surprise and shock, that the 10 of us were the only students attending this midweek situation. Oh, that's not cool. You definitely want to hope that other people are there when you show up. And for whatever unknown reason, we stay. Dudes, the vibes were off. Can't stress enough how the vibes were off.
Seems like vibes. No,
Not
good
good.
vibes.
The vibes were bad vibes. I chalked it up to spooky, unfamiliar, empty church spookiness and just hoped it would get better. Boy, was I in for it. Like the chapel session at school, the dude got up in front of a very small group of us and was all, thanks for coming, blah, blah, blah. And again, his wife started praying over us. And people start crying again.
What?
All
fuck?
10 of us in tears. Why? I don't know. Finally, some other students show up and they're crying also? What the?
What is she saying?
Well, it seems like just regular. So this, I guess, was normal for them. I'll be real. Once this was over, I never went back. Based.
Yeah.
Good move. So anyways, there's like 20 to 25 people now, and we break up into groups and are praying over each other, something I had very little experience with, but am doing it because social pressure, I guess. After a little of this and some of the pastor and his wife started praying over the small clusters of us, people immediately start dropping to the ground.
You asked, my parents invited you to their church, and you were like, is this like because they go to a Pentecostal church. You're like, are they going to be snakes there?
Snake stuff.
I was like, no, it's like, it's actually boring. It's more boring. Like the one, it's not exuberant at all. Like they're kind of white people.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I want to go to an Orthodox Christian church, but the nearest one is very far. And it's not very far, but it's like, I don't know, 15 miles as the crow flies. I don't know what that equates to in traffic, but like, I don't like going far.
That's too far. What did this guy, he just died for you and your sins. Like 45 minutes I'm going to drive?
Yeah,
Come on.
really. Come on.
Let's get open one closer. What do you do? Yeah.
But there is a little place by me.
Just your face.
There's a little place that's by me, and it seems very small, and it's like Church of Christ. And I'm like, that seems straightforward.
Good name.
Because there's so many things. It's like Lutheran and Seventh-day Adventists are like right around the corner, and I'm like, don't know what that is. And of course, Emily is in the chat, and she's like, go to mass, be Catholic. But I don't want to.
I find it so very boring. I find Catholicism very boring.
Well, I
just don't like the rituals.
I've spent all this time learning intimately about like Christianity, and it just feels like that's the direction that I'm moving. That's the direction I'm being compelled to move in.
Like a Christian direction, not Catholic.
Not the Catholic. I know there's some.
It just seems like
a little bit of overlap there. But
she's gonna scream when she hears this.
Like, Did you go to?
The more that I do learn, like not learn and like, I guess discover about the Christianity thing. The more I'm like, it just seems so different. Like I wonder how she got that out of. Well, she's, but like I wonder, how'd you get?
Retarded. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, we're all
right?
I guess. I just I feel like I'm going in the opposite direction.
Well, federal agent says Church of Christ is culty, and then he says Seventh-day Adventist is culty. And I'm not opposed to culty. You know what I mean? It just seems like you're going to be culty if you're going to be at church. So I can respect a bit of cultiness, but I just don't. It's also confusing. Lutheran is like, didn't that guy, he was like, you can read the Bible. You don't need other people to read the Bible for you. And I'm like, cool. But what else? I don't know. I don't know. It's so I have to find a church. I would like to find a church because I want my son to be able to like find friends, and I don't want to rely on public school friends. I want him to find friends who have some connective tissue in the Lord. That would be nice. So I got to find something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be Catholicism.
My parents, they have a good youth group. It's actually pretty big around your son's age. There's a lot of kids around that age in this church. Check it out. See what
Well,
it's
you know
about.
what
They
the
also
problem
make people
is?
cry. You'll go in there, start
If
crying.
anybody cries, I got to go. But the problem is your
I
parents
only
know
cry.
me.
I'm the only ones who cry here.
Right.
Okay.
Your parents know me and
Yeah.
they'll talk to me. I specifically want to go to a church where like I don't,
You don't know
talk to
anyone.
anybody.
I'll tell them. Just leave them alone.
Don't talk to
Fucking-
me.
Yeah.
Don't even look at me.
Don't, because they'll be like, this is David, and they'll introduce you to the pastor.
No.
He has a racist podcast. You should listen to it.
Yeah.
Sometime. Yeah, no, I'll tell them leave you alone because that's like
I don't want anybody to talk to me. It's nothing personal against them. It's just my idea of going there is like, you know, I want to be able to plant myself and then like vibe check everybody.
Watch when you go there and they go, are there any first time visitors? And they go, I'm there.
I will
like,
not raise my hand.
No, but then they'll go, I see some new faces in the crowd, and I'll go
Yeah,
like that, and they'll be like, all right, never mind.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for, and I don't want your parents to look over and be like, you know, because they get a very friendly version of me. But in new situations with a lot of people, I am very.
You wear a lot of rings.
I got my
right?
gun. I bring my gun to church.
All the rings.
I got mad rings on. I got my gun. I have 2 guns. And I don't want you to talk to me. So
2 guns in a pocket.
I just don't want them to see that. Do you say 2 guns in a pocket?
That's the name of the episode.
What is it? Okay. F Catholic said Matthew 23:9. Are we gonna read that? And it's
Are
gonna
we
be
doing
like,
it
you
again? They're
should
telling
not
us
be
you
so
shouldn't be saying
standoffish
those
at the
things.
church.
Let's read it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like you shouldn't say those things.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Keep reading. I'll read
Okay.
Matthew 23:9.
Wow,
I'm
I
sure
lost
it's
my thing.
rebuking us.
They're rebuking us actively in the chat. Okay, so people start crying again. All 10 of us in tears. Okay, more people show up. That's right.
Oh, and call no man your father upon earth, for one is your father, which is in heaven. That's correct.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to call I want to call him Kevin. If his name is Kevin, I want to call you Kevin. I don't want to call you father. Get the out of here. I got a real problem with my dad abandoning me.
My father-in-law we had big fight about that. I probably told you about this, right?
I think vaguely, but tell me more.
Whatever. We're doing a weird episode today. So, yeah, when I got married to my wife, because he's like also through in the what's it called, through the adoption system and all that stuff. So his I guess his upbringing was different than mine. But he was like, he pulled me aside and he goes, you know, I feel a little like offended or like what was the word he used? Like disaffected by you or something like that. And I was like, what did I do to
What
you?
does that mean? I would have said, what does that even mean? I don't know the meaning of the word.
He just goes, you know, I just figured that since you married my daughter, then you would call me dad.
Oh,
and I was just like,
you was mistaken.
Yeah, I was just like, So I spoke with my wife and I was just like, I don't feel right about it. And I just ended up telling him, like, you know, it's like, it's nothing like against you, but you're not my dad. You know that, right? Like,
yeah,
I got a dad.
My mother-in-law, I call her hi, hello.
Yeah.
How are you? I don't say like, hi, mom.
I call him grandpa now because that is your title.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but not dad. I'm sorry. It's just I can't. I was like, there's a guy. He's right. He's still alive. He's right there next to you.
I call my you know, when my mom got married when I was older, I just called him by his first name. Like, I'm not calling you dad. So yeah, to then go to a thing and to have to call another, like, I'm not calling you dad.
If you subscribe after, we're gonna make a new tier. The $100 tier. I'll call you daddy.
Yeah.
That's a daddy tier.
Yeah. You know what? Something about I don't mind, like, if you have like a Spanish thing and they're calling him like Padre. I'm like, that doesn't even sound like dad to me.
Papa.
So that's like a baseball team. So yeah, I'll call you that. That's
yeah,
fine.
Poppy. What's up, Poppy?
Poppy's fun. Yeah. What's up, Poppy? All right. I'm trying to find the place. People started crying again. All 10 of us in tears. They
just keep crying.
20
to 25 people now, and we break up into groups, praying over each other.
Oh, you're letting me know. Okay, something I had very little experience with, but I'm doing this because social pressures. What's going on? Okay, this is fine. Yeah. After a little of this, and some of that pastor and his wife start praying over the small cluster of us, people, yeah, that's right, immediately start dropping to the ground. And I'd be like, fake. I would not believe that. But nevertheless, she says they immediately start dropping to the ground. The homies that have been dropped are like convulsing and murmuring.
I'm dead
So,
serious. Hold on. I'm making all right. I'm calling you rat. Is that Eamon rat?
That's
We're
Eamon
adding a
Rat.
tier. Yeah.
Be gentle. Call him but be gentle. Eamon
No,
Rat,
this
you
is-
piece of shit.
This is called the daddy tier. That's
Duh.
it. $100 a month. We will call you daddy.
Oh, that's so stupid.
We will call you daddy.
Hey, Eamon Rat started making content. He's doing stuff with Connie, and I like that because I like Eamon Rat, and I like that he's on camera, and I like that he's
Connie.
doing shit.
Very
cool. I don't know why I probably should explain that. So they call conspiracy extremists Connie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He does content with everybody, huh?
Yeah, he does. He's just a whore.
Okay, so here we go. It's up. Save. Yeah, daddy tier. We'll make a little banner for it, but
Even the
$100
ladies
daddy
get called
tier.
daddy. You don't get called mommy. That's too.
All it says is we will call you daddy plus all other perks that you get above.
Mommy
daddy.
tier is that's way up there. We're not calling you mommy. You can't afford it.
Mommy tier is crazy.
Mommy tier is crazy. That's like
$1,500 a month.
Yeah, $1,500 a month. It's mommy tier. So she says, the homies that have been
Give me 3 months.
So the homies who have been dropped are like convulsing and murmuring, and then she goes, so cool. My mom has epilepsy. I realize they aren't having seizures as far as I could tell. Within maybe 10 minutes, all of my friends are on the floor, and these people start praying over me. Dude.
Oh, they want you to do it.
Please. This is, who is this? Is this Rebecca?
Brooke.
This is Brooke. Okay, Brooke, please tell me you didn't do this. All right, I'm going to read on, but please tell me that you're a real ass and you
did it. She did it.
Okay, so they start praying over her now. So all of her homies are on the ground, and now they've come for her. And she says, all I want to do is get the out. But the person that drove me is laying on the floor still. So uncomfortably, I stand there and try to understand why I'm not falling out like the rest of everyone. Hey, good for you, Brooke. Doxed. Good for you.
Yeah.
People deserve to know your name. So she's wondering why the hell she's not doing it, right? The moment the pastor's wife put her hands on my forehead, oh my God, I got the clearest voice in my head saying, she's forcing the spirit, but she has a message for you. I grew up really dusty, crusty, musty Baptist.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Are Baptists dusty?
Dusty must. Actually, I have some more news. We're just going crazy. I know you guys wanted the $2 tier, but we have the daddy tier and the mommy tier. No members.
What's the mommy tier? How much is the mommy tier?
$1,500 a month.
That's
we'll
gonna
call
be
you
so
mommy.
hard if somebody pays
No one's
$1,500. Oh my God!
If you do it, I'm gonna block you.
I'm giving you your money back, bitch.
Mommy tier gets you blocked, but we'll call you mommy for a couple of minutes.
I guess
I'm
maybe
not
a
gonna
couple. I could do like a couple of minutes. That's fine. So she says she grew up really dusty, musty, crusty Baptist. This didn't happen to me, but here I was with some lady's hands on my forehead, getting a fancy little mind massage. So I lock in and listen to her. She tells me I'm a prophet. She tells me I will convert witches. And she tells me not to lose my way. I was the only one enough that night not to get hypnotized by this lady's weird church magic. And as soon as all my homies were up, I was out of there. Dude, what was the vibe when she realized you weren't going to do the Harlem Shake for her? That's interesting.
Yeah, she was like, damn, she's strong. This one's strong.
This one's strong. This bitch is strong. I was honestly pissed off about this. Her message made me feel really important, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to be a prophet or be in charge of trying to hunt down and convert anyone. I honestly thought she was full of shit because of the witches thing. I didn't forecast moving to Richmond. I don't forecast moving to Richmond, Virginia, and being absolutely surrounded by them 5 years later. So obviously my profitabilities haven't exactly been obvious. Anyway, I carried this pissed off energy into 2013 when I got married to a dude I met on a vampire goth social networking website that no longer exists.
Wild. You're a wild girl.
He was in the USAF and we moved to Japan. Dude,
that's a crazy sentence. Let me read that again. Anyway, in 2013, I got married to a dude I met on a vampire goth social networking website. It no longer exists. He was in the Air Force, and then we moved to Japan. That's weird. I'm invested. I'm invested, Brooke.
Weird.
I like it.
In late 2013, I moved to Okinawa with this dude, right? He's a huge turd, and I don't know it yet. He's covert about it. Homie had a raging porn addiction. Yeah, I think like something about Japan just it gives you a raging porn addiction. Everything their major export is porn. So
yeah, tentacle porn.
That's right. And I truly believe that anyone who is putting as much energy into beating his as he was definitely inviting something to feed off that energy. Keep that in mind. Agreed. I agree with that assessment. It's very important to not beat your.
I wonder how like wives feel about that specifically.
Well, I mean, I used to beat my, and my wife was like, cool with it because she just thought like, oh, that's just. Yeah, she's like, that's just what dudes do. It wasn't until Scott says Xerox, please pray. Everybody prayers for Xerox, who has a crippling porn addiction, can't stop, and he struggles with it as we all do with all of our various sins. And I'm not here to stack my sins up against Xerox's sins. I'm here to uplift my homies in the name of Jesus Christ. So please, everybody, prayers for Xerox so that he can stop.
Yeah, when Xerox comes, when you show up to Bohemian Grove, if he does show up, we're going to pray for him and make him cry.
That's it, yeah. We're going to lay hands on him, but we're going to wash him afterwards because Lord knows he's covered in cum. There was something I just saw here that was interesting.
Rebecca says, wow.
Yeah, so she just thought like culturally, like, oh, that's just what dudes do. It wasn't until I realized like, podcasting really made me realize this. Like, I've got somebody to talk to on the other side of a screen. I've got to be sharp. I need my coffee. I need to be locked in.
You gotta stop touching my dick.
Yeah, I know that just when I beat my, I go, oh, I'm so tired now. Don't want to talk to anybody. And I go, that's bad. And then the same thing with like smoking weed. Like I stopped smoking weed during the day because I had people to talk to. And then I was like, oh, if you smoke, you're so sleepy. Don't want to talk to anybody. So things that make me feel like that were enough of a red flag. And then of course there's just a bunch of spiritual implications to pulling on your and it's all bad. It's all bad
until
news.
It's over. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Not great. All right, let's finish this. Let's keep reading. I'm interested in what Brooke is saying here.
Okay, December 20th, 2013, this guy gets me something I had never had and also didn't know I needed. A puppy. Isn't that nice? Black and tan Shiba Inu, a Doge dog. She changed my life. I left that shitty nerd, but I got both dogs that we ended up with. That's hilarious. That always happens that way. I got dumped by a chick, and that was one thing, but she took my cats, and that was another thing. Fucking bitch. Wish her well. This dog was such a blessing, but I started noticing she'd play upstairs by herself a lot. She'd hang out in the dark guest bedroom, and sometimes it would sound like something was throwing a toy down the hallway for her. Weird, but she could have thrown it herself. No big deal with her thumbs. She would sometimes bring me random stuff that I was certain we didn't have in our home. Excuse me. Marbles, blueberries, a weird button. Usually small items, but always things we couldn't find a source for. Obviously, Hubs wrote it off as base housing and nothing supernatural could have been happening on the most notoriously haunted military base in the world.
Oh, didn't know that.
I wasn't so easily convinced. Yeah, well, I didn't know it was the most notoriously haunted military base in the world, but through our strenuous research, we have found that the overlap between supernatural occurrence and military base is not to be understated.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Venn diagram that is just one circle.
There's a lot of like misery there too, like with the wives kind of being left. Yeah.
A lot of people that go into the military are already sad. I have a niece who's looking into going into the military. Why? Because she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have any friends, and she's lesbian, so of course she's going to the Air Force, and her family is estranged, so it's like there's a sadness there. Also, I was watching a video where this chick was going around a military base and she's like, yo, why did you sign up for the military? Like asking her homies, and everyone's like, needed the benefits, needed this, nothing else to do, yada, yada. And then a couple of people were like, I wanted to people.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, there's those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of those.
That's the dynamic.
People don't talk about those. Okay. The dog was bringing me weird stuff, and the house's overall vibe was good until sometimes it wasn't. I chalked a lot of it up to my ex just being a moody guy and just not being fun or nice to be around. I was in big denial, I think. Looking back, I definitely think he still sucked, but I'm wondering if something was augmenting how much he sucked. Yes, probably. It definitely feels like a possibility. Eventually, we ended up getting a second Doge dog, the more traditional red color. She is the most loyal dog I've ever met, and a real testimonial to the nature and history of her breed. Flash forward to summer 2015. Hubs has one homie. I like this guy. He's Hispanic and very nerdy. He's got a weird little brother energy that just makes for good video game friendship. I hope you didn't bang him. That's just where my head went. I'm sorry. Apologies. So we start hanging out with this guy a good bit, and I discovered he's got a great fondness for ghosts. Oh no. Fancy that I thought we had one. So I tell him all the things I think I'm noticing. All of a sudden, this nerd goes, any ghosts in the area, come with me. He said this on my back porch with the door open. You should have shot him in his chest.
Not good.
I didn't like that at all, but my husband was all, Pisha. Ghost. What's Pisha? Oh, like Pisha. Okay. I never knew what that word really means, but yeah, Pisha.
That
ghosts,
kind of shit.
Yeah, like ghosts aren't real. So obviously we weren't kicking this guy out. It should be noted that I had fallen off with Christianity and was identifying as an ancient alien theorist at the time. So my frame of reference for how to handle these things that happen next was extremely limited. Within a week of Nerdo asking the ghost to basically come in my house, activity started picking up. Both dogs started bringing me things. Electronics started breaking out of nowhere, and I started hearing footsteps when I was the only one home. That's interesting. Like how this has no rights over your home, and he could just say that. And I guess if you don't object, then it's a form of consent on your behalf. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. You can go into somebody else's home and be like, come on now, demons. And
yeah,
and
there
now
was
never
never anything telling them not to.
Right.
And these people have no clue what they're doing. So I guess so.
That guy. Like boots on laminate, loud, clear sounds. It was highlighted because the dogs would react every time we'd hear them. Similarly, my ex worked swing shift from 3 to 12-ish, and I'd stay up and wait for him. The dogs and I would hear screen doors open, and then the main door, and again with boots on the laminate, loud and clear. We would walk to the door to discover no one. There were several times we heard his voice say hello. Oh. Did I tell you? Interesting. So hold on a second. Let me highlight this so I don't lose it. Did I tell you that Cindy had a dream that... here it is. Okay. So she had a dream that she woke up. This is in the old apartment. Basically, I think what was happening was the closer we came to leave time, the more oppression we were suffering through. Mm-hmm. So, like the mold kicked up and we all started feeling really sick and weird in those last few days. And the weed was like trying to grab me. I think these things know how you work. And when I was homeless, I was like just smoking like a chimney. And I think it's like there's this nostalgia factor or this comfort thing. It sucks me back into this old modality. So Cindy has a dream that she wakes up in our room and I'm knocking on the bedroom door.
Whoa.
Was that you? You dropped something?
That was me. I dropped my doohickey. Go ahead. Keep going.
Your fiddlestick. And it's me, and I'm like, babe, open the door. Can you let me in? Babe, open the door. And she looks over, and I'm sleeping next to her. And still persistent, open the door. And then this voice that's impersonating me gets angrier and deeper and more demonic until it's like screaming, open the door.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then Jack had a dream that he said he was at a theme park, like a roller coaster park, and that he just remembers seeing me off in the distance, standing next to a roller coaster, staring at him with like a really, really, really wide smile.
I think you should take away those books from Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not a good idea for him to be, because like
right.
These are they're very interesting for us, but for a kid that seems like has the veil already thin to him, doesn't. We're talking about what is that?
It's
called?
Gravity Falls. I don't know if anybody in the audience is aware. Gravity Falls is based off of a actual place in Oregon, I believe, called the Vortex, and in the Vortex is a place called, it's like I forget what it's called. If anybody in the audience looks it up, Oregon, the Vortex, and there's a house in it or a shack.
You know what it reminds me of, that book?
What's that?
It's I have a children's Bible, and I read it to my kids, and it's like the stories of the Bible, and they're fairly accurate, but it has like diagrams and drawings and things like that. But it reminds me of that, but the opposite, because it's very accurate.
It's like incredibly esoteric.
Yeah.
And my understanding of it is like the guy who made the cartoons appealed to David Lynch, who is the guy who wrote Twin Peaks, to basically get his blessings to go forward with the project. It's like Twin Peaks for children. JR says, does Jack have a sixth sense for the supernatural?
Yes.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's good for any kids, but like for your kid who already kind of shows this kind of gift, I'm like, I don't know, do you want to open that door or continue to like, because it's a weird one. Like, I think he'll end up discovering this stuff anyway. Well, but it's like, man,
what's been happening is, he has all this curiosity. Drawings. So he comes to me and he has questions, and I have the unique ability to unpack some of these things for him and then to point him in the direction of Jesus. And what that's done is create an equal interest in the Bible. So like, we'll be taking long walks or long drives, and he's asking me all these things about the Bible and about Jesus, and I've given him, he has his own Bible book as well, and he's also got like a little one that has like I forget what it is. It's like Psalms of Comfort and something like that, and you flip through it and it has passages from the Bible that are about overcoming difficult times, and he'll read something and he'll ask me about it, and I get to unpack these things. And then what I do is I say, now think about that and how that stands in contrast to all of your shows and all of your video games. And I'll juxtapose them to each other so he can see perfectly the way they actually oppose one another dramatically.
Yeah.
And then what he sees is that opposition to the biblical narrative, how it permeates all of the things that they give to kids. And so he's actually become really excellent at noticing these patterns now, where he's like, look, they're doing that thing again. Like, one of the things he's noticed is every single anime and video game is like, yeah, there's demons, but they can be friends. And also they can give you powers. And like, a lot of the anime characters are using, like your cousin-in-law was talking about it, Naruto is basically like a Jesus archetype, but instead of being filled with the Holy Spirit, he's literally filled with a demonic spirit that he derives all of his strength from. And all of it is an inversion of the biblical narrative. And so, unlike other kids who are exposed to these things but never see those patterns, he actually has this inquisitive mind. Well, he'll come and ask me. And, so even the other day when we're walking around Walmart, I'm explaining to him the ways in which King David fell, and then the ways in which Solomon fell, and, all these different things. And he's got like an actual, it's fascinating because he's only 10, but he's got a real hunger for these things. And so I don't know. I just know that when I discovered all of it, I was alone and nobody made sense of anything for me. And if it wasn't for, I don't know, maybe the Holy Spirit just having a hand on me and guiding me throughout those years, I might have never come to the place where I understand now that they're all mission driven, and that mission is to invert God's message, invert God's creation, and invert the entire purpose of Jesus Christ. So it's fascinating, but I do agree with you. You know what I think?
It's just like, you know what it is? It's like the book feels, and even has the feel of like an esoteric. Yeah. That's like when I'm like flipping through the pages, like, what the is this thing?
Yeah.
It looks exactly like a book of spells, but like it's made for children, but it's accurate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about, because there's some more, like there's more information in a book than there would be in a show where it's like commercial, show's over. What did that mean? It was like, it's like passing propaganda, but a book is almost like it's a weird one. It's a weird one.
It's interesting.
I don't know.
But like I said, there's also no avoiding it because of what Dad does.
Yeah, I guess so.
So even now, he's on the other side of a door hearing select words out of context. He's going to have questions.
Gook.
Face gook, yeah.
What's that mean?
White woman. And he's going to have questions later on. And so I've hit a really interesting place with my son and his age now where the conversations, he said something to me where he was like, my superhero name, if I was one, would be John 8-6 or something like that. And I was like, what? Why? And he's like, I don't know.
Kid's weird.
Asked me yesterday, who is Nebuchadnezzar? And I was like, what? Why? Like, he keeps asking me things that I'm like, I don't even think I've been talking about that recently. I don't know why you're asking me these things. But then I'm like, let's go through it. So I had to explain to him what salvation by grace is and what what salvation by faith instead of works is and all these other things, salvation by faith instead of works, lest.
Did you read that scripture, John 8:6, what it is?
He said John 8:4-6 is what he said. And I don't know if that, and I'm like, is that 4 through 6? Is that 46?
4 through, yeah, well, 4 through, so that's describing when Jesus said, he who is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone. He's talking about the woman that they're saying, why are you?
So weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh my God.
It's weird.
I just explained that to him. I didn't know which one it was, but I was saying like, yeah, there's a parable or a verse where Jesus is basically like, they're coming to Jesus and they're like, look, man, by your own law, like this bitch fucked up, so we should be able to stone her, right? And then Jesus like reaches down and he starts writing in the sand and he's like, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And I had to explain to him how basically like we all sin and it's useless to measure your sin against another individual's sin. And it was almost like it was clever of Jesus in that moment to be like, yeah, go ahead. If you're without sin, you could do it. And there's just nobody there who can do it because nobody's without sin. I just explained that to him when we were at Sam's Club picking up food to bring that to your place.
That's weird. That's what I'm saying. Your kid is weird, but he's like clairvoyant in a way. That's why I'm like, just be careful with those books because I don't know what's in them, but there's something thin about it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense.
Just
be careful. Yeah,
it's
very,
all very
weird. Let's continue. Let's read the rest of it.
So sorry who is this? Brooke. Okay, so there were several times when we heard this voice say hello, like he was surprised when we hadn't been at the door to greet him. Surprised he wasn't there. And the atmosphere was getting heavier by the day. Yay. Eventually, one night, the dogs do as dogs do. They asked to go out after midnight. So annoying. So I saddle them up and I take them out to potty. The base was a very central location for the bombing of Okinawa back in World War II. Ooh, damn. That's why it's haunted. There's bunkers in the trees used by Japanese soldiers as they fought and ultimately died during the campaign. So as I'm walking down the street past the woods, I'm very aware of the oppressively dark alcoves. Nice. All of a sudden, I hear a cat call style whistle. I aim my flashlight in the direction of the sound. Open space, nada, nothing. There was no one there. Chill. I'm kind of used to weird sounds. I'm assuming I'm tripping or like just not hearing things correctly. We continue on and I hear the noise again. This time the dog looks in the direction the sound came from. Still not seeing anything, but I'm definitely taking this more seriously. We continue on and this time the whistle is right behind me. I swing around expecting someone to be behind me and pranking me, and no one is there. The dogs have their hackles raised and we are completely in an open area next to a cliff face overlooking a golf course, I think is what meant to be said, and base housing. This is when the girls and I decided running home was probably a good idea. That's the worst, when you start running from spookiness, because it just amplifies so much. And
Top Lobsta's dog, man. Have you not been paying attention, Brooke? Come on.
Oh, God. I later learned that whistling at night is something like a Japanese death omen / superstition. Great. I went on to eventually try to off myself on the 4th of July the following summer. I was so tired of feeling crazy from the neglect of my husband. Our relationship was worse than in the shitter, and I was done. Except I didn't even make the choice to do this. The night I attempted, I drank more than I ever have before and took a bunch of pills. I genuinely think something tried to overtake me. It was a very surreal feeling. I apparently sent one of my friends a Snapchat saying TTFN, and for some reason that made her call the cops to do a welfare check in the middle of the night. They woke up my ex and found me passed out on my back in the middle of the living room surrounded by vomit. Cute.
Damn.
It should be noted I was drunk off this Russian vodka called Zubrowka. It's got bison grass in it. Apparently, that's a mild hallucinogen. Usually, it just makes people's dreams weird. Well, anyways, it's yummy with apple juice. And from what I've heard, I was spiraling into darkness. That's all I remember. I ended up being ordered to attend therapy. My therapist basically told me to do yoga. Damn, dude. Basically, after that, I was on autopilot until returning to America in 2017. Ultimately, my marriage ended up in divorce. He got everything, and I got the dogs. So who's the real winner? That guy. I couldn't handle being with a guy who wanted any woman but me. I basically immediately met the love of my life and a man who brought me back to Christ. On our first date, I heard the voice again, and it said, "You're going to marry him." I eventually did. This is the voice that spoke in her head when that woman was...
Providence.
All right. Providence is a word that's attributed to the divine order of God's creation. It's just, who are you determining God is? Is it Zeus or is it God the Father? So I eventually did. I went from being a feminist, ancient alien, depressed incel to a God-fearing, homeschooling mother of 4 babies. Awesome.
Crushing.
Awesome. Hopefully y'all didn't think that was too long. We made it way longer because I don't know how to shut the f up. Also, dog pics for fun. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Where's our dog pics, huh? Brooke, there's no dog pics in here. P.S. Make cuter merch. You have dangerously lady fans also. We've been talking about that. We're working on something like that. It's on the back burner because we're also working on a million things.
Where are the pictures?
Where are these pictures, Brooke? There's no... We're going to figure out the merch thing. Where is it? You found it?
No, I didn't find any dog pictures.
No, this is Brooke. You're looking for Brooke, not Rebecca.
Brooke. That's right.
Brooke.
Oh, you know what the problem is here? Nancy didn't... Oh, yes. Okay, yes, there's the dog pictures. Ah, cute. Are you kidding me?
Show me the dog.
No, you can't see it.
Why not?
Look at
Bring
them.
it up.
Look at the dogs.
Look at the babies. Oh, it's got a hat.
It's a lobster hat or something. A fish hat. Look at these dogs. What a wholesome.
Look at that baby.
Look at that. Look at that dog. Awesome. Thank you for the dog pictures. This was great.
Rebecca Sims says you're having incredible conversations most dads would never. I do feel incredibly blessed in that way. And it's reassuring because I know that my lineage seems to have some sort of whatever. I don't know. Things want to expose themselves to us, talk to us. And I know that in my bloodline, as far as I know, this sort of thing hasn't happened where I am drawing my son closer to Christ and having these really important conversations and watching him have a genuine interest in something that I could never imagine being interested in as a child. So something's happening. I think it's just like my bag is, I was going to have this. And reassuring. I don't know. I just be making up words, baby. I don't know.
Reassuring. I like it though. We'll keep it.
Reassuring. But yeah, I this was going to happen. I'm just glad that I'm equipped enough to engage in this conversation. And thank God I'm playing catch up really quick with my scripture, because he's going to have answers that are based off of scripture. And I'm like, man, here's what I think is going on there. And it's I think I'm closing the gap. I'm doing a pretty decent job. I got to learn quicker and better. I'm tired now. This is a 2 hour and 20 minute episode.
This is a long episode. This is what you want from us, people.
Is this what
blood?
You want?
It's what you want. I got things to do. We got theaters to see. We've got insurance to get. We've got things to do. And here we are talking to you.
That's it. Not good. Better time, or time better spent elsewhere? No, that's not true. I like doing this. All right, guys. Don't forget to go to brogrove.com. Pick up your tickets for Bohemian Grove. They are active, and we're trying really hard to make something really cool for you guys. And every time somebody buys a ticket, it's a load off of our shoulders, a load on our chest, and it's just great.
They've been moving well. I'm excited. I think this thing is gonna sell out. It's gonna be whatever. We'll see you guys there. We don't care, but it's gonna be great, and we'll be back next time. I don't know when we'll be back. We gotta. I know we have a lot of stuff to do, but we gotta catch up on the content because. Oh, that's right. A Q&A. We're doing a Q&A.
We're gonna do a Q&A. We're gonna give 4 tickets away. 4 tickets away sometime this week. So if you haven't gotten your tickets and you are hearing this now, be sure to keep an eye on for when we go live. I don't know what the qualifier is going to be, how we're going to determine whether or not you get these tickets. But nevertheless, they will be given away this week. So you might be a lucky wiener. If money was your issue, it might not be anymore. So keep an eye out. We're going to be doing that. Anything else that we have to say? I feel like there was something we had to draw them to, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't know. You remember?
We'll remember when it's over.
The greatest hypnotist on planet Earth is a oblong box in the corner of the room. It is constantly telling us what to believe is real.
You can persuade people that what they see with their eyes is what there is to see. You can't. Because they'll laugh in the face of an explanation that portrays the bigger picture of what's happening. And they have.